I hope people didn't think I had gotten rid of the horn, because I did not get rid of the horn. The horn stays. All right. Uh, a little bit later than I wanted to get going, but I'm here. Got some tea. Kind of tired today. I've been kind of tired all weekend. I don't know why. I haven't done anything. I don't know if it's just needing to catch up on some disease or what, but it's been kind of a lazy, hazy weekend, which is fine. That's good. But not so good when, one of my goals was to be productive. But like I've mentioned, these streams help keep me on point a little bit. So I'm hoping to claw some of that productivity back. I've got some breakfast tea. I didn't drink any coffee today. I really didn't drink much yesterday either. I had a bit of a headache yesterday. I don't know. I've drank so much caffeine in my life, and I enjoy a daily coffee that I wonder sometimes if I get a headache and I haven't drunken any coffee, if that's the reason why I'm having a headache, like I'm getting a little caffeine withdrawal. That said, this will be the first caffeine I've drank today and no headache. So I don't know. I thought it would be good, actually. I'm not doing that now, but to go through one of those things to kind of I don't know, is detox the right word? Maybe it's the right word. Detox from caffeine for a month. Just to see how it feels. I don't know. All right, where am I? I'm up here. High Priest Quarters, Q. Q. Bum. All right. High Priest Passage is this Q3 here. It's a big one. Hey, Sam. What's going on? Just getting started. I really like these. I'm a big Alice in Wonderland fan, so I have these teacups. I have a Mad Hatter, and then I've got this one, which is Alice. So the same on both sides, yeah. Alice and the flamingo. All right. I don't know if I want to start off with the passage. Where's Q1? Why did I do Q1 too? Oh, I think sometimes with the numbering of things, I always comment on that, and I look at dungeons like, why did you number this the way you numbered it? I'm pretty sure I started here because this is the main. I don't know if entree is the right way, but coming from, if you're looking at it from I guess my logic was, if you're coming through it from the inner sanctum, you would come in here, and so this is that first area here, and then these other areas are kind of offshoots of here. It is not impossible that you could get into this area from some other bits. You could potentially come in through the curtain and then end up in here, or come in. I guess you could come in that way through there. If you find this secret door, you can come in there. So there's some different ways to get in there. All right, so the High Priest Passage. I'm just gonna make a return. I'll catch up to you later. And one of the this is a dungeon also that's not big on. There's not a ton of loot. There'll be some spots, and one of the spots will be here, which I suppose I should just mark down, which would be the High Priest's Chamber. Q5. The High Priest's Chamber. There'll be some loot there. There'll be some things around, but this is not I think I've mentioned this. I guess I'll keep mentioning it. Maybe I need to remind myself. You don't run this dungeon in kind of loot grab mode. You're running it because you have a objective. Could be escape, could be rescue somebody, could be stop the thing. And while there will be some loot here, this isn't something where you're going to come in and find tons of loot. Frederick on a Sunday. Yes, on a Sunday indeed. I meant to actually do that. I was, I think when I'm talking about this stuff during the week, I always think, whenever I find these situations come up, I have these grand ideas of like, oh, I'm going to stream like 10 hours and I'll just get a lot of work done. And then I end up not. So, but I'm happy that I got yesterday and then today. And apologies if you hear me slurping, just because I got some hot tea. Okay, so we got the High Priest chamber here, bedroom. Should I call it bed? No, I'm using chamber already. The bedroom of, he's got a name. Oops. I think the name's actually mentioned. I don't have to look it up. Alitido gloss. Oops. Gloss. The current High Priest of the cult. Of the cults. Relatively luxurious room with a fine though worn rug covering the stone floor, a high 4-4 Mr. Bed, writing desk, and chest locked. Okay, the High Priest chamber, the bedroom of Alitido Gloss, the current High Priest of the cult. Relatively luxurious room with a fine though worn rug covering the stone floor. Four-poster bed. Do I need, maybe should I don't know. I don't know. I go back and forth. Wow, Sam. Our guy scored pretty big last night digging bat poop out of a cave. 66 James and a magic ring +1. Wow, that is a darn nice haul. I don't think I would have, I'll be honest. I'm not sure I would have thought to dig through a bunch of bat poop in a cave. So good on them. That is definitely a fine reward for a very unpleasant task. Here's rug. I'm going to get rid of some of this. I'm going to keep it shorter and sweeter. Puts it right in the chest locked. Perfumed. Oh man, they have a dragon in their future? Are they planning for the dragon? Do they know the dragon? Did the dragon know? Did they know the dragon's coming? Are they gunning for the dragon? Does the dragon know that they're coming? Plan to make a big boom. Oh, I see. They're going the gunpowder kind of route. Get all that guano. Sam, is your game in the gunpowder age, or are you just letting them do it? Let's see. Frederick says lights go out table. One stub your toe, 2 point end goes in your stomach. 3 somehow finds flint and steel. 4, did you hear that? Monster coming. 5, why to step on 6, friendly glow bug. That is that for if you lose your lantern there, Frederick? I feel like that would have worked really well in a Zork kind of game. In addition to, Gru is coming. All right. Bedroom of Altito Gloss, current high priest. I'll have to make notes for what's up. Should I do the? Let me see. You know what? Why not? Why not indeed? Let me do the Komodo Dragon from yesterday. Let's generate a treasure. I don't know if I'll use it ultimately. Okay. What do I want? I want a hordes. Or do I want individual? Hordes are A to O. Maybe individual. Those kind of stink. Ooh, group treasures. I'll do type V for this. Frederick, is that just for so this table of things that happen? Is it you keep having to have torches go out? It's an endemic problem. Is it just a matter of people not? Because I'll usually give folks a turn of it's sputtering kind of thing. Hey, it's sputtering, and then I go from there. But are they just forgetting to relight torches in time before they come out? Because usually, in my experience, when you tell the players, "Hey, your torch is sputtering," they'll go ahead and relight. But obviously, if they're trying to be super, either super efficient or whatnot. Where's the generator? I know they got a generator. No. But where is it? It's not here. Yeah, the main page. Okay, this, maybe I need OSC generator. That'd be kind of, I think maybe, it'd be kind of nice if they could link those two together so you can have the treasure types thing and then you can get a link to the generator. Okay, so I want type V. Let's try. I don't know what the difference between. I'll stick with basic. Whoops. No, nothing. Well, what's the cursed scroll? Let's see. Curse can be removed. I don't think you would keep a scroll like. I mean, it's interesting. Interesting. The idea of having the cursed scroll there. Is because evil begetting evil, right? So you're the high priest. You've got some stuff, and some of this is, I suppose, as you would think it's your due, whether it's right or not. You're gonna skim off the top. So you've got, you got some pieces of jewelry in here that are pretty valuable that you've taken. That'd be 70 gold. And I like the idea. I kind of like the idea of the cursed scroll, so that if you have an under priest, maybe I'll have to make an under priest. You're thinking if he gets a little big for his britches and tries to sneak in here and get the chest, he'll get nailed with the scroll. So I guess I will use this just for now. I'll put it I'll put it in the note. In the chest. All right, I'm gonna put it in gold. I don't want, or I'll put it in silver. Or silver pieces. I need some pieces of jewelry. This is where that Abu Lafia, I think that's what it was called, generator, because they could come up with actual pieces of jewelry. Let's see. Yes, Met Museum. No. I don't want the store. Art. Probably not going to use the images, but look. So let's see. What do I want? Arms and armor, Asian art. Medieval art, maybe? And materials. Oh, yeah, brooches. Oh, look at that. I'll just download the image. I need, let's see, pictures. Art. Shoot. What was it? Frankish brooch? Rosette brooch. Rediscovery of ancient tech. All right, Sam, that's cool. I'm down with it. Garnets. Gold. Gold. Garnets. I'm spelling that correctly. E-T-T-E. Nope. E-T. Garnets. How much did they say it was worth? 1,100 gold pieces? Okay, I'll do it to 10. Silver. Okay, let's get something else. Ring brooch. Let's see. Away at cups, drinking vessels. Problem is, well, I guess I'll just go through what we have. Cup and cover, lifting hook, no. Signet ring. That would be intriguing. Fragments, no. Bracelet. Grapevine pattern bracelet. And that one would be worth 1,300 GP. Maybe something with some. Let's find something with some gems in there. I know I could add gems, but I just want to see. Oh, medallions. Those are pretty. Let's see. On the left of the Virgin child with saints. On the right, God the Father is depicted between the saints. Okay, these delicate open-work ivories with the original color were probably mounted under crystal covers as part of a locket reliquary. Oh, man. Ooh. I wish we had the whole thing. Got a key. A noble of Edward III. Medallion of man fighting a basilisk. What is that about? We don't get any details on it, though. Made in Limoges. Copper engraved in gilt. enameled. A lot of brooches. Glass fragment. Come on. Where's the jams? Give me some jams. Bird-shaped brooch. I don't want to do another brooch. I did a brooch. Need something else. Gold necklace with amphora vase pendant. Handsome ram's heads worked in repoussé. Woven. All right, I'll do that. Woven. Rams. Oh, better. Just say that. Yeah. Gold vase with amphora pendant. Maybe I'll just call that. Wait, gold necklace with amphora pendant. Necklace. Pendant. What's the pendant made of? Gold. Yeah. Is that pendant just painted? Is it gold too? Gold clasps. Or a lot of gold. It would be good to come up with that'd be a nice project. A good way of just cataloging it, not cataloging, categorizing jewelry and things that you find in dungeons. Like something you could say, like, age, maybe something age, workmanship. Obviously, you could say the materials, gold, bronze, silver, whatever, to kind of help. I mean, maybe it doesn't help at all. Maybe I don't know. As a GM, if you guys let me know, like, does having some of the specificity on the jewelry, is it meaningful, or does it help, or is it only meaningful if it ties into something? Like, if would just gold necklace worth whatever count, or is some added detail worth it, or no? Sometimes it's nice for the added detail just to describe a little bit what it looks like. Um, but I don't know. The Avar treasure. Oh, those are pretty. Earring. Another brooch. A lot of brooches. I don't want any more brooches. I've got a brooch. I want some different things. Part of the rib of a groined vaulting. What the heck is that? Part of a rib of a groined vaulting. Is that most jewelry just gets turned into GP costs in their character sheet. Unfortunately, this is true. If it's not worth 25 gold pieces, leave it for the next rat catchers. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. But I guess the only thing that is good, I'll say is that if you have the detail and you don't use it, and it doesn't take up a lot of space, at least if you have it, you can use it. Maybe I'll say that way. If you have the detail and it doesn't take an onerous amount of space or anything, then you can use it if it comes up. If you don't have it, then you don't have it. Right. But I'll see. I'll start with the detail, and then we'll get rid of it if it just seems too much. So what is this one? This is a temple pendant, 2 birds flanking a tree of life. Oh, I like that. Is this gold again? Made in Ukraine. Gold, silver, and enamel. All right. Tree of life. Pendants. Gold, silver, enamel. Enamel. Oh, 13,000 silver. All right. Get rid of the worths. So in the chest, 700 silver pieces. Rosette brooch, which is gold. Gold and garnets worth 11,000 silver. Necklace with amphora pendant, gold ram's head clasps for 13,000 silver, and a tree of life pendant, gold, silver, and enamel worth 13,000 silver. Is there anything else? Hey, Warrior King. Did I have anything else in here? Oh, and then the cursed scroll. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Yep. Activation, looking at the cursed scroll. Which is actually perfectly in line. Maybe I want to make it. I'll probably come here and amp this up, turn them into some frog humanoid, amphibioid thing. There we go. That's the high priest's chamber. So we got that. Now, oh yeah, I didn't talk about intros and outros. Yes. Secret door in west wall leads to escape passage. Q6. 6. Whoops. Okay. So what do we got here? For the chamber, the bedroom of Aletido Gloss, the current high priest of the cult, relatively luxurious, fine but worn rug, a 4-poster bed, a writing desk, and chest locked. Perfumed. Secret door in the west wall leads to escape passage. This is here. This is him. So there is a chance for whatever's happening. If things go particularly bad, the high priest is going to get out. His mission is long term. His mission is beyond just this thing. He's not going to try to die here. He might have some of his other folks die for him. He will try to escape. Either then come back, set up shop somewhere else, something. He doesn't want to die here. It's not going down like that. Oh, Q4. Put that there. Q4. High priests. Yeah, high priests. The foyer. Come join me in the foyer. Shall we? Q2. Q2. What is Q2 exactly? What did I envision with Q2? Probably got more rooms in here than they need. It's a good question. I'm not sure. Not sure what is going on there. Q1. Would this be the foyer? Maybe this should be the foyer and this should be something else. The antechamber. Okay. What am I doing? What is here? What do we think they'd be doing here? Secret door. And the reason why there's a secret doors is that this area is basically supposed to be pretty much for the high priest and a couple of guards, his personal bodyguards, basically aside. So the concept here is that this is for his use only. So these doors are secret pretty much for everybody except for him and his cadre. Though some of it they're going to be aware of. They know he's able to get back in here, but maybe the mechanism's not known. And if you're caught poking around, that will be, bad news kind of thing. But the idea here is that these are, and maybe they're just kind of concealed and not super, super secret. But the reason why these are all marked this way is that these are these sort of back passages where the high priest can get around without having to mix all through here. So the high priest, he's in his quarters. He can, obviously, getting into here is good. If he needs to get into here, he can. And if he needs to get in here, he can without having to follow the route that everybody else goes. That's kind of the concept. These are his private passages. So actually, in terms of the party, if you're able to get back there, these are very not traveled very much. So only a few people know about them, and they're the high priest. Pretty much, unless the high priest is going somewhere, that's the only person who would be in there. So if he's not trying to get from place to place, the guards are not going to be using that. They don't use it without him. So it's kind of his private hall, which means could be useful. Could be useful because they'll be just basically the encounter chance in here will be low at all times. But if an encounter does come up, it's going to be the high priest and his entourage or whatever you want to call it. That's the only people who are back here. Okay, so we got, are those all the rooms? No, we got 6, 7, and 8. Which I don't know what to do with yet. Well, Q6 is the escape passage. We got that. Q7. Oh yeah, guard quarters. Right, that was for his guard to hang out. Actually, no, maybe Q. Why do I keep forgetting to bold that? Don't ask me. I don't know. Q7 would be the what would we gonna call that? A supply room. And then Q2. I Still not sure what Q2. Still don't know what Q2 would have going on, but it's there. It's queuing out. All right, so we got Q. That's all the Qs, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then A being escape passage. Escape passage. Leads to a stairwell that exits the temple compound. Egress can be blocked by lowering a portcullis. He needs a bathroom. No bathrooms here. Bedpans, buckets. He'll have a nicer bedpan. No bathroom. Whoops. What did I do? Did I go the wrong? Oops. No, going the wrong way. There we go. All the stuff gets flushed down here, and I presume he'll have some kind of butler who will have to, poor guy will have to take his bucket and bring around and dump it. But yeah, no bathrooms for these guys. They're not that high tech. No running water. They got a well. I think if they were overground in a castle, they could have a bathroom, some kind of water closet. But being underground, I'm sure there's a way to work it, but they don't have that technology. They're just crapping in buckets. But maybe he'll have a nice. That's something I haven't seen in museums. There have to be something. Did anyone make a nice chair with sort of a bucket that goes beneath it? A chair with a hole in it? Leads to a bucket. Because I would totally put one of those in his bedroom. To an escape stairwell. Not exists, but exits. Lowering a portcullis. I'm gonna look it up because that's what I'm here for. They did call us. So there's a. See, but that's going down into a hole. What if we don't have the hole? That's the thing, is they don't have gravity to help them. I mean, they don't have they haven't dug anything down there to put. See, so I like that. Just a hole at the bottom. Yep. Oh, wait a minute. Is that one? Okay, that's. I'm looking for something not fake. Or I don't even know if it's fake, just not art. I'm looking for a historical picture. Teach and thrive. A natural crack. I mean, they have some, but they're using it. The kind of natural things they're using to summon the toad demon. So they've got they've got here and here, but those are in use. So it would be the demon they're worshiping is trapped in here. It'd be bad for him to poop in there. The average peasant not have access to a castle. Yeah, that's right. Some people. Chamber pot. Pale closet or pale privy. 1596, first modern flushing toilet. Chamber pot. There we go. I'll add that in there. Yeah, the frog demon wants to eat flesh, not crap. They're sending that's kind of what they're doing with the prisoners. The toad demon does not want to eat their poop. I mean, it would be the ultimate in kind of recycling, I suppose. It's a closed circle. You just drop your poop into another dimension. It gets eaten by a demon. The demon wants everybody to eat its poop. It doesn't want to eat other people's poop. That's kind of like you're working in the hierarchy of demons here. If a demon is eating your poop, you're its boss. That's the rules. That's kind of demon culture. If the demon's eating your poop, you're its boss. If you're eating the demon's poop, it's your boss. These guys are not the demon's boss. And I think the demon would not be inclined to appreciate, reward, or people who are dropping turds into his realm. It is good we're getting the stuff ironed out. Absolutely. Okay, so there we go. High priest chamber. All right. You see, they did it again. They stuck the A in there, and they turned it into it. Stop that. I guess I'll. Egress could be blocked. Bisects the passage. Now, where would I was thinking that I think I would put the lever here. So you run by, there's a lever in the corner, pull the lever, and then drop the portcullis down. I think that's a good use of a portcullis. I think that's a very, very good use of a portcullis. Practical. It probably won't come into play at all. But you never know. And I suppose if you wanted to, I suppose I can make a note that maybe there's a way to find this secret entrance, come down in the bed. That changes things entirely if you can find that. But I'd want to make it pretty tricky. I mean, it's not meant to be. Obviously, no backdoor is meant to be discovered. But I might have to think about that because that would be if you're planning it out, if you're a party and you're being careful and cautious, you probably want to try it. But though, where this thing is, there's nobody comes in and out there. It's not something you could find it because people are coming in and out. It's only there for emergency purposes. But I could put a note. In there. Should I make a note here? All right, do that. So supply closet, supply room. That's really for the guards and stuff. What's the word? A wardrobe. reward for pulling the lever? Well, the reward for pulling the lever. See, the thing is, so here would be the reward. I'm not going to give you like here 10 XP if you pull the lever. I'm not going to do that. I'm not a big fan of that. It's all what you can do with it. So if the party were to get themselves down here, they have a problem, or they don't have a problem. They're in a really good spot, kind of. Assuming that the high priest isn't here when they get here, right? So assuming that he's out, anywhere these other places doing high priest stuff, you've got free realm into the deepest parts of this thing. And you've got kind of unfettered access. If, again, these are all secret doors, or at least concealed, so you might not find all of them, whatever, but maybe concealed, because there's going to be, these are used fairly often, so I think I'll have to put some notes in there. They're concealed, but not necessarily secret. So you can come down here. If you recognize, okay, we pull this lever, the portcullis closes. This does block off that escape path. However, well, two things. It blocks it off for you too. And secondly, you have to be over here to close the lever, because the concept is, oh my gosh, I need to escape, run, close down this, which prevents anybody from following you, escape. Okay, so there's no reason for this for anyone to kind of do that, to do it over here. That kind of defeats the purpose. If I have to open the lever here, then run out, someone can just open the lever behind me. So the idea is that you're closing, it's kind of it's that emergency escape. You are blocking the exit so no one else can follow you, kind of thing. So now if you're over here, you pull the lever, well, you're still over here, you're not over here. So you need to figure out how to pass through, and you could rig a rope. It's not something that's necessarily super difficult. Rig a rope, do something, pull the lever, but of course, now it's closed. You've blocked off their escape potentially, but you've also blocked off your escape. But it could very much be a useful tool if you get there somehow. You could. I mean, it would be a great moment in an adventure if the party had closed this portcullis and they start getting in, doing stuff over here. Things escalate. The guy tries to leave, and they're chasing him. He comes back, and they catch him right here because the portcullis is down, and the poor guy's trying to lift it up or something. And him and his guys trying to lift it up, and they can't. Right? That would be a really fun moment. But I wouldn't be like, here's your reward for flipping this lever. It's like, that's not a video game. The reward is that you can possibly use it to your benefit. That is your reward. The reward is in the doing of the thing. Okay, supply room. Let's see. Several spears and I'll just call them chainmail shirts. Water. Line. Hanging hawks. Dried meat. Dried meat. The driest of meats. Okay. Doesn't like chainmail. kind of like male shirts. I don't know. That's probably overcomplicating it, but fine. Barrels of, that doesn't like that either? Well, I like it, so I'm keeping it. Barrels of water and wine, hanging hocks of dried meat. Okay, the guard quarters. Pallets for 3. What did they call it? There was a name. Did they give a name? Pale privy? 2 pails for. I like calling them leavings. 3 pallets and 2 pails for leavings. One of the pallets is a small bag. Let's generate another little treasure. Huzzah! Let's see. Single treasure. I mean, some of these are so small. Yeah, it's not going to be much. Type Q, 3d6. So why even, what is this going to even give me? Aha. All right, 15 silver. Three pallets and 2 pails for leaving. Sewn into one of the pallets is a small bag. 15 silver. I should probably have something in the bed. Yeah, let me do one more of these. What's some of these? Oh. See, this is 2. Those are hordes. Individuals, groups. Bibble. Where's my book? Where's my book? Oh, you know what? I have it. Hold on. I don't even have to turn around. I've got it here. Where's some treasure? Let's do some treasure generation. No. I don't want that. I want. Okay. Magic item. Yeah, we'll give him a magic item. Okay. Where's my dice? All right. Let's move aside here. Stuff. It's time for some dice. Hold on. All right. I am, well, I was going to say I'm prepared. I wouldn't go that far. I'm not quite prepared. But I've got my box, which I can prop up here. So I've cleared out room so that I have room for this. Okay. I've got my, where's my die roller? My little, okay. Now, let me get some actual dice. What do I need? A D100. That looks right. All right, let's see what we get here. Wow, 98. Miscellaneous magic. All right, I like the sound of that. Oh, I need a D10. Oops. Let's see. I got 2 choices, 5 and 8. Neither one really seem very good. They don't fit. Maybe I should just pick one. Crystal ball might be kind of good. Helm of a lion. A helmet buried in the bed doesn't make sense. But I can see a crystal ball like underneath the pillow or something. What does a crystal ball do? Let's just take a look. I kind of like that idea. This item can only be used by an elf or magic user. Owner may look into it and see any place or object thought of. It will work 3 times per day. The image will only last for 1 turn. All right, I'm gonna put that. Yeah. In the bed beneath a pillow. I'll probably make my own because he's a high priest. He's not a magic user, but he's gonna be able to use it. He's gonna be able to use it. So I will change it or make a new thing so that to make sure he can use it. They say how much a crystal ball is worth. Probably not, because you're not really supposed to. Yeah. All right. Oops. Oops. Okay, 3 pallets and 2 pails for leaving. Sewn into one of the pallets. A small bag, 15 silver. Gosh, my chair. You know what? I'll have in the where's Q4? High Priest Antechamber. Yeah. What? I need another word. Butler. I don't. Is butler? Whoops. Is butler? What's a good word for something like a butler? What do we got for butler? I know there's Batman, but I don't know if people will take that word seriously. Actor. Oh, I see. Because in charge of wine. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, that one doesn't fit anyway. Because I want. What about a manservant? I guess servant. Um, no, medieval servants. Maybe I should do titles. Household staff. No, not knight. So steward. Thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking of. High priest. Steward. I don't think he needs to be capitalized. Sleeps here. No. He gets a bed though. Door in south wall leads to passage. Sleeps here, simple bed, northwest corner. Cupboard. Simple bed. Cupboard. Should I put something in the cupboard? I will. I feel like that's kind of some of the thing. If you're in this cult like this, you've kind of sworn off, at least by the book, you've sworn off your material things, at least outside of whatever rewards you're going to get for the cult. But I feel like, especially with these evil ones, a lot of people are still going to be holding on to their stuff or trying to. So I like the idea that these different people have squirreled away something, a rainy day, something or other. So that now again, the idea, this is not, you're not going to find enough treasure in here just on a, if you're going to run this dungeon as just a treasure hauling adventure, there's not enough here. But I wonder if there's a little story here, a little bit. Maybe story's too strong a word, or a theme with these people who maybe there's a little bit of cynicism, right? Which I think again makes sense for the kind of the organization they're in, that they're not giving everything up. Everything's supposed to go to the organization, right? Everyone's going to take all this stuff in, then we're going to melt it down, whatever. Is the chamber pot made of silver? No, I would say maybe, let's call it bronze. Give it a 200. No. Silver might be too much. Did they make silver chamber pots? But I'll go with bronze. In a cup. All right, let me get some gems. Gems and the Wheeled Warrior. I think he has to be careful with ostentatiousness, because that's gotta be careful. Can't be too much. But yes, he's certainly, relatively speaking, he is living the good life compared to other folks. Definitely is. But it's not too much. Not too much. Not for these guys. Not yet. Because, part of the he is kind of a, I mean, it's, I guess it's one of those things too. I guess it exists, because I was gonna say he's a true believer. It's not really belief, right? They know there's a frog demon down there in a trans-dimensional pool. That so it's not like there's not, they don't know. It's not like they have to believe it's there. It's like they know it's there. And I was gonna say, well, in real life, people do things, but of course, people are true believers and do things in real life too. So I suppose you could argue that he would want to be, that he would also take advantage. But and I could probably go back and add some more stuff in. But I don't know. My thought is that he's not in that mode. There are certainly some things that just up your station, but that it hasn't gotten too out of hand. At least not yet. I mean, he does have some expense. I mean, he's got like some, the treasure in the chest is pretty good. These are things I think were, so I feel like that's pretty. And he got a crystal ball, and then he does have a staff of command hiding around in another spot. He's got some stuff. Okay, I need some gems. Is there a random gem? There is. Not. Why Steven Universe? What is that? Perchance? It's gem time? Oh. No. What is this one? PBE. Brian says, does the high priest expect to be fed to the toad at the end of their life? Like, is the best way to go? Or are they gonna rule the world alongside the Toad Lord? I think the inner circle, because remember, there's sort of two circles, right? The outer circle believes that some kind of paradise thing is going to happen. They're going to be the beneficiaries of. The inner circle what they're doing is they are transforming themselves into kind of toad-like beings. I haven't gotten there yet because I haven't gotten to, but so they've been drinking, they've been mixing, and I have to kind of add this some more spaces. This pool and kind of this pool here are sort of connected. In any case, doesn't really matter. But they take the scum off the top of the pool and they use it, and they've been using it. Remember from, I don't know if you were on the stream yesterday, Brian Smith. I was talking about the artisans that are over here, and they're drinking kind of they're drugged a little bit. That's putting them in kind of an ecstatic trance to do things. This all comes from these different things of what they're doing with the pool, like how they made the frog dogs is with this scum from the waters, and whether you're taking it kind of full strength or whether you're getting a watered down or diluted, various dilutions of the scum. So the inner circle are literally transforming themselves into kind of toad demons by taking concentrated. And that's what you do when you become part of the inner sanctum. You come down here and then you ritually drink some, and then you gain a mutation. Essentially, you gain an amphibian mutation. Where was I? I was up here. Yep. Upward. I do like this. I'll put this in the chat. I don't know. This is kind of a nice little. In case anyone wants a gem generator. I'll also, I'm going to put that in here too, in the old Discord, so that I don't forget. Oh no, that's not that. Gemstone generator. That seems to be pretty cool. All right. I think that, yeah. So Brian says, could sprinkle some ceremonial drinking vessels, quote unquote, around the rooms. I could. It's more. They're more. I don't want to say scientific in my mind anyway, which could obviously change. It's more deliberate, so that you're not just accidentally drinking something. You're getting kind of dosed. You're getting dosed. So they don't tend to leave the stuff around, because part of the dosing is also control. So let me go back to the map for a minute, kind of illustrating how it works a little bit. Small doses are given in here when you're coming in, and this is essentially just to make you sort of docile and prone to suggestion to help ease this transition. And you're kind of you're continually sort of fed that same amount to sort of keep doing that, basically sap your will, kind of make you whatever. These guys are getting a stronger dose over here. I think all these guys are getting kind of will get some ritualized low level dose, but there's control. They want the inner circle control it. They don't want this stuff just floating around. It's controlled, because how much dose you're getting makes differences, and they're trying to control it. So they're not going to leave vessels and stuff laying around for people just to accidentally sip and then something awry happens. That's part of their control. So everything is sort of and then they want to make sure that whoever they bring in here, where you get your first kind of big gulp drink in here, is ready. Maybe there's even a physical capability part where they want to make sure that your body's strong enough to handle the mutation, your mind, what there's probably things, who knows how they pick. Maybe even happens here. Maybe the crystal ball. Make a note. They don't so much process it. I guess they do. I guess, yes, I suppose I would say there's some kind of processing while they're doing those dilutions, but no, otherwise it's scum from the pool. It's demon toad swamp scum. It doesn't need any particular refinement. It's really just about masking it, which is why they'll use something like wine to try to mask at least somewhat as much as they can the flavor. But it's not like they need to boil it, dry it, do anything like that. It's pretty potent. It's pretty potent out of the box, out of the bag, out of the pond. Pretty potent. Okay, we got. Did I say 5 gems? Yes, I did. Actually, I'm going to change that. This guy doesn't have that much. 1,000's too much. Black obsidian, smoky quartz. I think you don't need all that, I think. One, two, three. Brian says, could have some nasty toad freaks at the pool's edge, sweeping clothes back and forth and then wringing it out in sacred vials. Yeah, there's this area back. This area is going to be full of toad freaks. And they'll come out here a little bit, but they're going to wear like cloaks and things to cover up. Some of them are going to have their legs are messed up or have become kind of amphibioid. Some of their arms, some of their face, skin. They're going to have all these different things. So yeah, back here is where all these kinds of monstrosities are hanging out. So yeah, that's the more serious area. Up here you've got, here it's all kind of humans, regular folk, almost entirely regular folk. A couple of leader types that are going to have a couple more levels or hit dice on them, but essentially regular folk. Once you get up back here, it's mostly if they're not, mostly not counting prisoners, prospective sacrifices. It's all these kind of toad hybrids, amphibian human hybrid things. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. 1. I feel like maybe this is overkill for this. I grant you, and I might come back and erase it, but like I said, I'm going to put it in now. I can come back. Maybe I'll just do 2 times. There we go. Are there any other cool generators here? Oh, interesting. What's PBE? Play by email? What is that? That's cool. Hexed places. Boy, you're getting really close to gimmick infringement. I'm sure this is older than my stuff. What does this go? Drive through? What is it? Let's stick it out. You're not even there. What happened? Hold on. Let's. Oh, was it just random? That's what. Don't tease me. Hexed places? Is that a thing? Does it exist? Yeah. So why didn't it show up? Hexed places. Man, how did I never know about this? Come on. Oh, interesting. So they got it they're doing 1 mile and 6 mile. Sangha Jungle. Does anybody use these hex places? Anybody familiar with them at all? When was this published? I'm not been reviewed or rated. And it's been on the site since 2018. How does nobody view or rate this? Man, that's a bummer. And look how many stuff they have, and people haven't rated these. All right, well, at least they got some stars on those. This is kind of the thing I want to do, so I'm very curious about how folks do with these, because that's kind of the next thing I want to do. Obviously, I cannot call it hexed places if I was going to. I was not, but if I was going to, I cannot. That's fine. Where's my picture? Here we go, my map. Okay, so let's see. Got some High Priest Passage. This just connects a whole bunch of stuff together. I'll have to make a note here about the secret doors. I don't know what I go back and forth secret and concealed. Concealed I think to me, concealed just means that maybe there's no difference, but that they're kind of not as hidden, less hidden. I don't even know if it's a meaningful distinction. Maybe it's not. Anyway, let's see. So the High Priest Passage. Why are you calling it the King's Passage? Oh yeah, there's A, which is another statue. Connects the High Priest's quarters to the, was it the Hall of Initiation? Yep. I'm still not sure I'm going to keep all these in here. I know folks said that they didn't think it was useful to have the connectors. And I don't want to do it in bullet points. I know some people like I don't, the thing is with using the arrows is I guess you just have multiple, if there's multiple on one. I feel like if it's something's in a corner like this, I have rooms that are not all squares. I could say northeast corner. I don't know that I have a widget for, the arrows that you find in kind of your wingdings, or they're just the cardinal directions. You don't get a lot of different things. So I feel like I could just write them out where I need to, but it'll probably come down to how much space I need, or whatever. Well, do I feel like it's, if I don't feel like it's helpful, because it is kind of, obviously it's sort of self-evident if you're here, oh yeah, I can go here. But I also know that sometimes I'd like to try to have a little mini map of the area in where the rooms are, but we'll see. I think it's a good usability thing, which also helps. But I also try to think about a little bit as if I'm reading this, that gives me that context while I'm reading it, as opposed to having to go reference the map. I can kind of read and see. That's my point of view. Who knows if what will stick? And oh yeah, that was the backstage area was where I think I can close that window for the moment. Backstage north. A, yeah. Ceremonial backstage north. Hall of Welcome backstage north, W5A. Hall of Welcome backstage north, W5A. Okay. And that's pretty much, I got the Hall of Initiation here. And then the alcove. Q3A. Whoops. A statue of Anaxiris. Full, what's the word? Full form? Demon. Full, 3 L's, fully form. Looms over a bronze offering bowl. On a stone altar. Cushion for kneeling. Is there a name for the cushion? A kneeling cushion? A cushion for kneeling? Anyway. Statue of Bufon Anaxiris in his fully amphibian demon form in his true, maybe it's better. True amphibian demon form looms over a bronze offering bowl on a stone altar. A cushion for kneeling sits before. On a stone altar. Sits before it, worn from use. Ooh, what kind of offerings? What kind of offerings would be here? So here's another kind of fun. What's in the bowl? Back to the treasure tables. Wrong thing. What would be in the offering? Bool, 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 bool. I'll come. I might have to check out the hexed places. They got some bundles. All right, let's stay on target. Stay on target. Stay on target. What are they? Are they having interesting tables here? So they have some random tables. What do they got? Fantasy treasures. Oh, they even give you a little background. I think I need a random, another jewelry. Yeah, who's got a good random jewelry generator? Perchance again. Okay. Doesn't give me, I need values. It's the same one. Generator's errors. Well, that doesn't help. No. Do I? What is it with these AI jewelry generators? No, I just want. What is going on here? No, no, no. Oh. Fantasy jewelry name generator? What is that? Those, okay, that literally is names of things. No, I don't want. Man, this is bumming me out. I mean, I know I should probably be like doing it myself. Let me just see. Oh, is this gonna work? There we go. I'll leave this in here too. This might be anyone else needing something like this. Might save your bacon someday. I would have used that before. Instead, I went looking for. Sorry, I'm just going to add it to the Discord while I'm thinking about it. The jewelry generator. I suppose that you could use it with the names if you wanted to put a name to it, which wouldn't be terrible. But I'm gonna make it less. Brooch with charm. Okay. Not another brooch. Steel amulet? That sounds kind of lame. Bronze armlet. Oh. Oh my. Turquoise. Turquoise. Okay. Items placed in the offering bowl become cursed. Now let's see. How does cursing cursed items? How do cursed items work in here? Not a cursed scroll. We saw the cursed scroll. What about something else that's cursed? Okay, cursed armor until worn is then revealed. Okay. So what happens to someone who's cursed? moving an item from the bowl immediately cursed. What kind of curse? What kind of curse do you think? I don't know. I don't know. Let's see, what kind of spell effects could we possibly use here? Maybe some kind of withering? I don't know. I'm going to think about it. I like the idea of maybe some kind of rot and withering happens. But I'll have to sort out what that does. I'm not entirely sure. That's the warship alcove. Where's my map? Still need Q2, which is a secret door. What would we do with that secret door? I suppose that's some more treasure. I don't know if I like. What would be in there? What would be in there? I'm not sure. What? I'll make another note. Actually, maybe I'll make a note. Immediately after one day, in the bowl will, I don't know, vanish. Something's going to happen to transform. Not sure. I'm not sure how that will work. What does God need with a starship? What does a toad even need with some jewelry? I don't know, but maybe it can get turned into something that can be used. I'm not sure. Or maybe maybe actually no, maybe there's a spell or some kind of thing that can be cast. Because obviously that stuff's sitting in there and it would vanish, it would be gone. Let me make a note. What is the goal of offering the jewelry? Question mark. Okay. Secret stores. What is being kept here? Another question. Foyer. That is here. a mural on the northwest wall from Osiris to the mortal plane. A backdrop of impossibly twisted and overgrown swamp land. Hey, Ian. All right. A mural on the northwest wall describes the triumphant return of Bufo and Osiris to the mortal plane against a backdrop of impossibly twisted and overgrown swamp land. Maybe just swamp. Swamp. Oh, that's a good, because I know, because Brian was talking about that. The figure of, what's his name? This can be seen standing at the right hand of the toad demon. There we go. So he's painted himself into the scene as befits a man of his station. Of course he would. Of course he would. All right, so I don't know what's in the stores over here. I don't know. That's about it. And oh yeah, and then just what are we doing with the offering of jewelry? I'll have to think about that. What are you doing? Thank you. I'll have to come back to that. I think that's it for the. Is that it for the Q1, Q2? I gotta do that Q3, Q3A, Q4, Q5, Q4, Q5, Q6, Q7, Q8. Pretty much. But I'm gonna need more room, so let's go ahead and put that up. And now, probably the hardest. I saved the hardest for last. Okay. Humid. Damp and humid. Slippery natural rock walls and floor Actually, is it slipper? Is it? No, well, it's no, it's carved. Here it is. Here it's natural. So no. Damp and humid, fetid odors. Shocking. I think I've used fetid more than enough. So let's see what other words we got. Yeah, give us all ones. Yep. Stinking, foul, reeking. Must. Yes. Right. Reeking. Right. Reeking. Reek, noun. Fume or order. Ooh, I like that fume. Probably have to add some more. That's fine for now. Fume. Very air we breathe is a poisonous fume. Not with 10,000 men could we do this. I agree, Boromir. How about that, Legolas? As flawed as the movies are, I do enjoy them. And they are flawed when you get into it, but I do enjoy them. I enjoy them quite a bit. I miss that. I feel like there was this golden age. I don't even know. Maybe it's not even right of kind of fantasy movie. Well, I guess I really there was a really fun time when Harry Potter, and I don't love Harry Potter. I've never read the books. I don't love the movies. I like the third. Actually, I like the third one quite a bit. Other than that, to me, the movies I think are meh. Some of them are slightly better than other ones. I think the third one is by far my favorite. I could watch the third one just as a movie. The other ones, I'll watch it with my daughter just because I kind of if it's a fantasy thing that I think will get her, or if it's a movie that will get her into fantasy or a book, I'm willing to try to come meet her where she lives in terms of instilling in her or trying to instill her maybe a love of kind of fantasy stuff. But I'm not, I don't love the movies. But there was that fun couple of years where there was just like twice a year you were getting a big tentpole fantasy movie, getting Harry Potter. I think it was what I remember at one point they were actually released at the same time, and then they switched them so that I don't remember which is which. It was Harry Potter in the summer, and then Lord of the Rings was in the winter. I don't remember. But anyway, you get these two movies. Oh, Ian, how is Alien Romulus? I've heard someone I know seems to like it a lot. I saw some other reviews where people hated it. So, where do you fall in the Romulus review? Actually, really good. Okay, so you're in the. It was good. Yeah, it seems like there's going to be kind of a pretty sharp divide between the people who seem to really like it and then other people who seem to really dislike it. I saw the Red Letter Media. I don't know if they're a big kind of channel. They're kind of snarky. I don't always agree with but I usually enjoy listening to their thoughts, although I don't always agree with them. And they hated it. But like I said, someone else I know really liked it quite a bit. All right, so S1. So I'm just going to write down some room names here. S1, we've got the Inner Circle Initiation Hall. I don't know if I'll go see it in the movie theaters, but I'm sure I'll go see it. Is that the Android? Did they do that with? Oh gosh, because he was Bilbo in the Lord of the Rings. Ian Holm was that? I think because I think I remember they said they did something with Ian Holm. He shows up in the movie. Is that correct? Am I misremembering? Did I mishear that, or am I? Okay, I was right. All right, I had that right. I'm just gonna put in some numbers here because I don't. I got to. That's 4. That's 5. That's 6. That's 7. That's 8. That's 9. That's 10. So S7 is the pool of. That's where he is. Matthias, when is Alien Remus? Good question. Good question. And I, or is it, alternatively, is it a crossover? It would have been interesting if it was a crossover with Star Trek. So you could have had Alien Romulus, Alien Vulcan, man, Alien Klingon. Can you imagine a Klingon alien hybrid? I feel like Klingons have kind of gotten, I guess it's inevitable. Well, I can't even say devalued because in the original series, the Klingons weren't, they were very much not special. And then I thought in the movies, the Klingons kind of got pumped up. Man, when you see them in a motion picture, like it's like wow, like what these are the Klingons now? I don't remember is that when they first showed the Klingons with the kind of scalloped foreheads, or I don't remember the cartoon if they were still smooth browed. But then unfortunately, I mean, I think it's just inevitable. The more you get into showing the culture and all that, you kind of, I mean, I don't know, I was going to say for lack of a better word, but I don't even know if it's lack of a better word. You humanize them. And you also, you want to raise the ante by coming up with new creatures. And I think I mentioned this on a video way back when there's this concept in TV tropes called the Worf effect. And it's kind of funny, but it's basically, I think it's called the Worf effect. Yep. I didn't mean to do that. This idea that that you have you have somebody else you want to show as being strong. You have them beat up your strong guy. So Worf being the strong guy, and I think Klingons suffered a little bit. That's also so you have them beat up on Worf, or you have them beat up Klingons, and that's just like, oh my gosh, they're beating up Klingons. They're strong. But if you keep doing that over and over again, which they did to Worf, they beat him like a drum over over and over, I mean, in multiple episodes. Then the guy stops seeming strong, and it just seems like, well, what's the deal? Everybody's beating up on poor Worf. Then how strong is he? Um, Heck yeah! I mean, well, Shatner fought a bunch of aliens, but yeah, if Shatner fought the alien, that would be pretty good. And I mentioned yesterday, I'm a Shatner apologist, so my money's on Shatner finding a way to win. That's one of the interesting choices in Strange New World. I like the actor who they have playing Kirk, but he doesn't look at all like Kirk. I mean, he literally looks nothing like Kirk. Which, and I felt like the guy from I forget the guy's name who plays Pike. He kind of does look like Pike, but Shatner, their Kirk looks nothing like Kirk. I don't even know if he really acts like Kirk either. But yeah, I enjoyed Strange New Worlds. but some of the characterizations, there's just some things about it, like the I get it's I understand that in today's day and age, when you have a show that is kind of an ensemble show, or they made it, I mean, the original series was an ensemble show more or less, but it was basically, you had the big three, right? You had Shatner, you had Kirk, you had McCoy, you had Spock, and then everyone else is kind of to a lesser degree, more or less. And now we don't do things like that usually. Now we go for having more, and I think maybe part of the promise of that show is you get to delve in more to other characters like Uhura and Pike himself and these other. Well, I mean, Pike's the captain; he would get fleshed out anyway. But all these other characters kind of get some more moments in the sun, which I think is good. And I do kind of wish it just was a different time, and I think they just weren't thinking about that. It might have been nice to get some more fleshing out of different characters, but it's just not the way the show was, right? But then there's stuff like, I like the doctor on the show. Like, he's fine. I like the actor. I kind of like the character, but I don't know if it makes sense that the doctor's also this sort of, I don't know, assassin extraordinaire. It just seemed a little bit like, I don't know. Can you see McCoy being like, oh yeah, I'm a doctor, but I'm also kind of this black ops super killer? I was like, I don't know. Really, the doctor? Does that really align with what we think about most times with doctors? Their oaths and whatnot do no harm, except if you inject me or I smoke some stuff and then I can go just bat crazy. And I also feel like it's a little bit like everybody's got to be a badass. Like, why can't the doctor be a badass doctor and not have to be like super prowess? And I'm a doctor, not an assassin. Right. That's what McCoy would say. Now, granted, he doesn't have to be McCoy 2.0 or another McCoy. I also felt like that just seems a little weird. And it's fine, but that just strikes me as a little bit strange. I started watching Picard. I subscribed to Paramount Plus because I heard I did had no interest in the first couple seasons of Picard. I saw things about it, I heard about it, and people loved it, but to me, it just wasn't Star Trek. Star Trek is not about getting into laser. It's not about the fighting and the killing and I don't know. It did, somewhere along the way they kind of have lost track of what did I say Star Wars? What Star Trek? Sorry, Star Trek. What Star Trek is kind of about. What differentiates Star Trek from other sci-fi, from things like Star Wars or even just other shows. Like Star Trek had a very its own real thing to say about the world and the vibe and everything. And I felt like just the highlight stuff I'd seen in the first few seasons of Picard, it just wasn't that at all. And Patrick Stewart, I love him, but he looks older than death. And just he is old. And there's a things there that I just like, I don't know, this is not interested in it. Despite a lot of people I would read, at least at the beginning, were like, oh, this is so amazing. And I'd see some that a trailer or a scene, and I'm like, this is not. And I just think to myself, this is not Star Trek. It's not the Star Trek that I'm interested in. But I heard that the season 3 of Picard, where they kind of give the Next Generation show, they get to have their swan song that they never really got because the movies that they were a part of kind of stunk. And and I know they had their finale episode. They got to wrap up the show, but I think a lot of people just felt like they didn't get maybe the send off that they should have gotten, that they earned or whatever. So that season seemed to kind of deliver that. But it's funny. So I subscribed to Paramount Plus really to watch that a couple months ago, or maybe more than that now, and I hadn't gotten around to watching it yet. But I did start it. And so far, it's pretty good. I mean, so far, I don't think I watched. I think I've watched 2/3 of one episode. But I'm hopeful. Everyone seems to like it, so I'm hopeful. All right. Am I losing the thread here? So we got S9 as a passageway. Call that the sacrificial passage. Yeah, why not? Why not? And I like giving room names because it just says, to me, I just like it because it just tells you something. Even without any other description, having a nice name can help. It helps me anyway. Just set an idea, a context of what the room is. So I like to give them names. I'm not sure we did here. So here's this hall. You come in here. What was my idea for this room? I think that's a little guard room. S7's down there. S8. Ascending gallery. Inner circle initiation hall. All right. Okay, so we got S3. What should we call this? I'm not sure. S4. 5 is a store. Storeroom. It's called stores. Oops, wrong button. Wrong button. S3. Yeah, I know it's riveting stuff on coming up with names. Like I said, I like to come up with names. Sometimes it's a struggle though, and I'm struggling now with some of these. You know, the unwell spring. Oh, I like that. I'm going to keep that. Thinking the wellspring. Now we've got the unwell spring. Oh, yep. I like that. That's good. Keeping that. Keeping that. All right, I only got 2 areas that don't have. Maybe S4 will be the stores. Yeah, that probably makes more sense. And this will be a guards. Oh, S3. Okay, 1 left. Yeah, the entryway. Sure. Hmm. That seems a bit boring. There, another name. Back. No, I keep pulling up the wrong window. There we go. Get thee back. Where's Etim Online? No, over here, maybe. Yep. I'm sure this is from the French. What about door? Anything good with door? Gate. Both are from Proto-Germanic. Dur, dures, duru, deer, dire, dur. Turi, tour, dware, door, doorway. Middle English had both dur, or I don't know if I'm supposed to pronounce it either or not, and door. The form door predominated. Okay, so maybe the E is silent, or maybe it became silent. It was supplanted later by door. The oldest forms of the word in Indo-European languages frequently are dual or plural, leading to speculation that houses of the original Indo-Europeans had doors with 2 swinging halves. Figurative sense of means opportunity to submit for. Okay, actually, you know what? That does give me an idea. I'm I'm going to call it the mouth. Like the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. Okay, so we got, go back to my map. So just to reset, I think that it's a good way to explain this dungeon, if I was going to explain it, not in terms of like, how did I do this or anything like that, but just in terms of kind of my thinking is a lot of it's built on these flow charts. And I've run through some of the different flows, not flow charts, kind of like user flows, how the workflow of this cult. And this space also has a workflow, which is there's two workflows that kind of combine here. One, if you're in the outer circle and you've been chosen to be brought into the inner circle, you were brought in through these gates, you're initiated here, you're brought down here, you were given, I think this is where you'll get your, and I don't know if you get your first, no, because I think you do the drinking would be down here, but you kind of get sort of set up, you'll come in here, you'll come down through this gallery here, you'll get kind of your final thing, and then maybe this is, I don't remember, anyway, you'll I think they're doing stuff with this pool here, the Unwell Spring, but basically the ritual in terms of this initiation kind of comes down here and you culminate with the kind of the final truth, right? This is your moment of truth where you see you see what's Bufo and everything that's happening here, right? This is that kind of moment here. So that's how that flow is set up. So you come in and you're guided down through. That's one flow. The other flow is from prisoners who are getting sacrificed to Bufo. So they're held in these cells that are over here or over here, and they're brought in. There's ceremonies here. They're brought in here. They come in here. They go behind this curtain through this concealed sliding panel in here, and they're marched and then done with here. So we have two flows coming around, one from there and one from here. Does that make sense? So some of these names are because here you're initiated, here you have a kind of a ceremonial thing, then here you come through here, and then he'll take your the final, here you're now subjected or shown, revealed, it is revealed to you the final, the ultimate truths about what's going on. And presumably they're kind of prepping you stuff so that by the time you get through here, you're open to receiving the message. You've been, and remember we talked about that scum, the scum from the pool and stuff that they're doing, or maybe it's from the wellspring, the Unwell Spring. I really like the Unwell Spring. That's very funny. Terrence, I'm up late. I'm kind of up late. It's 10 to 30 Eastern Standard Time, so I guess it's somewhat late. But I started late. So, I don't know if I'll go 3 hours again like yesterday. I would love to. I'm not sure I got the energy. I'm not sure I got the stuff for that. I'm off tomorrow, so I might do another one of these tomorrow. I don't want to make promises that I don't want to cash. So I got to get ready. I'm also leaving on Tuesday morning to go meet up with my familia in Florida for the rest of the week. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming, and I'll post something because obviously a lot of people aren't going to see this. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming or what I'm going to do in Florida, how it's going to work. I'll have my laptop, and my laptop certainly capable of doing it. I'm not pushing graphical boundaries with this stuff, and the laptop I think is pretty capable. It's going to come more to, do I have time? Also on one screen, streaming this stuff, like right now I got two fairly large, I mean, they're just standard monitors, but they're nice size monitors. I actually would love to have a third one, but I think my wife might revolt if I tried to put a third one in here. But trying to do something like this when I have the one monitor and have chat and stuff. So if I do stream, it might be something different. I mean, I could probably do a reading stream, just I can put the chat interface on one side. I can I won't have all my hardware, so I'll have to do things sort of differently. But I think I might be able to finagle something, but we'll have to see. I'm not sure how much. I'm going to take my laptop for sure because I have to work while I'm there, but I'm not sure other stuff I want to bring. So I might not even have like a good audio video setup. Like I could bring a little webcam or use my laptop's webcam. It's okay. I have an extra webcam I could easily bring with me, but stuff like microphone and things like that, I don't necessarily have. Or I have, but I don't know if I want to go through all that. So we'll see. We shall see. All right, so I'm up in here. Inner Circle Initiation Hall. All right, so let's just start here. Outer Circle cultists are ritually inducted into the inner circle here. How was I describing this before? Yeah, maybe I'll do that same. Maybe I'll do the same thing. That might make more sense. Whoops. Oh, I guess I've got the outer circle cults are inducted to the inner circle here. Afterwards, they are led through the curtain to the ceremonial hall. I'm going to take out the inner circle. We know we know what's going on. We've been following along. We've been reading before we run, maybe. A wine hall covered in swamp motifs and carved visages of the iris wine hall covered in swamp motifs and carved visages. Is that the right word? Carved. Oh, Brian says it wasn't a fan of Fede Alvarez's remake of The Evil Dead. I feel like he did the same pastiche with Alien. Oh, I didn't see that Evil Dead. I'm probably glad I didn't. I just, I'm not averse in theory to some remakes of films. Of course, I'm usually averse to the remakes of films that I really appreciate because I don't often feel like they're adding anything new. Like the Ghostbusters remakes, all of them. Just the one with the one with the all female Ghostbusters, and then the most recent two Ghostbusters. They're just bad. I mean, if you like them, more power to you. My wife likes the 2016 or whatever Ghostbusters movie. She likes that one, but I just think I think they're terrible. And I think Ghostbusters is just a classic. I saw Ghostbusters, I think 8 or 9 times in the movie theaters that summer. So, I was definitely, but I'm not someone, I did not go into that. And I saw the 2016 Ghostbusters in the movie theaters. I was not someone that went in with, like a lot of people doing, gnashing their teeth and doing, I'm always a little bit mumble grumble when I hear one of these remakes are announced, because they just so often are just don't, they just don't make expectations. They're just, no matter how low you seem to set the expectations, they somehow limbo underneath them anyway. But I went. I certainly wasn't averse to it. I didn't hate it because it's all ladies or this or that. Like, that part, whatever. I like most of those actresses in different things. I like Melissa McCarthy's some stuff. I like those folks. But it was bad. It was bad. But I also acknowledge that some of the most beloved movies of all times are actually remakes. The Wizard of Oz is a remake. They've made Wizard of Oz. Wizard of Oz was one of the first properties that started getting made basically as soon as movies started being made. They were trying to adapt L. Frank Baum's books to movies. Wizard of Oz wasn't the first one. It was, I don't even know which one it was. One of my favorite movies of all time, The Maltese Falcon, was not the first version of that movie. It had been done, I think, not even that long before, maybe 4 or 5 years before that. They called it a different name, so you don't see it as the Maltese Falcon. They changed the name to something else. I forget what it is now, but they made a version of the Maltese Falcon, and it wasn't good. Well, I don't know. Actually, I haven't seen it, but it didn't stand the test of time, and clearly they didn't feel like it was done well, because they came back not that much later, did it again, and the Maltese Falcon is one of my favorite movies. John Carpenter's The Thing. It's a remake, or at least a reimagining, going back more to the source material from the 1950s movie, and it's amazing. So you can make good, a good remake, can be made. It's not impossible or anything, but it's just, I think that you have to really justify why you're doing it. Now, this one is not technically a remake, right? Romulus is not remaking Aliens. I don't know if you would say it's trying to relaunch or reboot it, turn it into more of a franchise. I don't know. I've heard such mixed things about it. Some people really seem to like these Alien movies. Some people really dislike it. So I don't know where to stand. I don't know if my family is going to be. Certainly, it's my daughter's not old enough for Alien. I mean, it's funny. There's some things that she absolutely does not, where I feel like, hey, does this make you scared or anything? And my daughter is like, no, not at all. But you know what? Skeksis from the Dark Crystal, she ain't having it. She's like, no, daddy. If the Skeksis, if for a while, I don't even know if now, but I used to just do the Skeksis voice, and she would, that would be enough. So I can't imagine how long it'll be before she'd be wanting to go see an Aliens movie. Don't know that I think my wife might be down to go see an Aliens movie, but we'd have to see. In any case, I'm open to it. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to see it, but I always have mixed feelings with these movies. I mean, people love the new Dune movies. I like them. I think I'm a little bit more mixed on the new Dune movies than a lot of other people are, but that's also, I guess, in a sense, a remake, or at least a reimagining. I kind of think it's different when you're adapting a book. Maybe there should be a different word. It's not because they're not trying to remake Lynch's Dune. They're trying to readapt or just adapt the books. And I guess the same thing as something like Wizard of Oz. Is it technically a remake? No, because they're not trying to redo an earlier movie. They're trying to readapt a proper, story or something that had been adapted once before. So maybe there needs to be a different term for that. But it's cool that people are talking about movies, because I love movies, and I don't know if movies are sustainable if theatrical presentations aren't a thing. But I don't know any of the economics around streaming and all this services and whatever, but it just seems like, one, I think movie theaters are fun. Maybe I'll be the last. I don't know. Maybe we're those of us who are kind of adults and who remember movies as a thing, as a real thing. Like, I don't know how old you have to be to remember when going to a midnight opening of a show was kind of a big deal that you wanted to do, that was really fun to do, and being there with a whole bunch of people and the place being sold out. I like going to see the prequels when they first came out, or the re-releases when Lucas Films re-released the Star Wars movies. I guess this was around the same time as the prequels, maybe a little bit afterwards, and just how amazing those experiences of going to the theaters were for that. Or like when I went to see Lord of the Rings, I remember going to see Return of the King or something, and just those kinds of experiences. And my daughter's never been to a movie like that. I don't know when that I don't know when the moment when that kind of stopped being so much of a thing, but it's something that I hope doesn't just go to the trash can of history, the dustbin of history. What would we call it? I don't know. The ashtray of history. Not that we have ashtrays much anymore. Reimagining, yeah, reimagining might be a good word, Mattia. Thanks. But I hope it's something that doesn't go away. I hope there's a place for it and a space for it. And maybe, I don't know, because I really like traditional. I feel like so one of the things that was funny was watching the original 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and how well those turtles hold up, all things considered. Maybe I'm just old and nostalgia colored, rose colored glasses, but I felt like the mutant ninjas, the turtles actually looked pretty good. And just practical costuming and whatever. I thought they did a really good job with that. Like Splinter looks good too. And I guess I say that because digital effects can really help, I think, when they're used really smartly, can really reduce the cost of doing things. You could do some amazing stuff, sort of low. I mean, we've seen people come in and do something kind of low budget, but able to hide things with effects and make it work. And you go, wow, you can kind of push above you can get above your weight class. You can sort of make something kind of look better. But there's kind of a lament that the practical effects though, really, when you get them, they just look really good. Even when they look artificial. Like I was watching Time Bandits yesterday, and they get to the Fortress of Evil or whatever it's called, and there are these great shots of the huge scope of this just ginormous. I don't even know. Castle's not even the right word. Complex, whatever, huge edifice, and it's clearly a model. You can, I don't know what it is. You could there's always something that just seems like you can just kind of tell that it's a model. I'm not sure what about it all of a sudden just kind of screams in the back of your mind like model, but there generally is. But still, it's really fun. And I think I haven't watched the new Time Bandits. If they if they have that same kind of thing in the new one, I'm sure it'll look amazing. But part of it will, I don't know, it won't seem as, there's something about those practical effects. And Tia says the only midnight opening they went to see was Goldeneye. The theater was empty and it felt like, is this James Bond Goldeneye? Well, that's bad. I mean, that's going back there. I would not have thought Goldeneye for a midnight screening, and I guess a lot of other people didn't either. The ones I tended to go to midnight back in the day was like the Star Wars, the prequels. Those were kind of midnight movie. We did the midnight thing. Lord of the Rings, we did some of those. Goldeneye, no. I mean, but even just doing open day, forgetting just midnight, just doing opening day, opening kind of weekend, and getting out there and then being part of the talk. And I think that's one of the things, and we talked about this yesterday on the stream a bit, just the negativity on places like YouTube can get to, or it's just people just harping on things and just naysaying. And I think a lot of this just drains. I don't know how your enthusiasm can't be drained. And especially when, frankly, a lot of their arguments and stuff they're saying is basically BS, or it's so personalized, or it's so due to something else. Like someone being mad, oh, they made this character a woman, or oh, they did this, and so I'm going to hate on this movie. And the one thing with back, not just pre-internet, but before kind of, I don't know, pre sort of social media is you didn't have those things to really dim your enthusiasm so much. You could be fired up because I can't help but think that even if I don't watch a lot of videos, if I go on one of these social media things or Twitter or whatever, and I'm bumping around and I'm excited for, let's say, Alien Romulus, and just in my feed and stuff, I'm just getting a whole bunch of negativity. And all I'm seeing is negative stuff. I mean, part of me is I gotta be thinking, like, why am I gonna go see this thing for? Like, oh, I guess I'll wait. And I think there was something, just having some innocent enthusiasm, being like, yeah, I am fired up to see this movie. No, I don't know everything about it. I don't know how it was made. I don't know all the budgets. I don't know all this stuff. I don't know all these things going on behind the scenes. I don't know, and I don't care. I just want to see. I'm excited to see the movie, and I don't know much about it. I don't know more than what the trailer has showed me, and that's enough. I'm excited, and we're never going to get that back unless people just decide to just unplug from social media. Matthew says, "Yeah, the Pierce Brosnan." I feel you in terms of being. I was excited for the Pierce Brosnan era too, because given my age, I remember Remington Steele and just how fun that show was. Thinking like, of course, this guy's got to be James Bond, like, incredible. And then I think they went Timothy Dalton, who now I didn't know anything about Timothy Dalton back in the day, and so it seemed like a weird. Like I was a kid. Like, who the heck is this Timothy Dalton? I don't know. The movies were kind of weird. They were dark, and then they ended up bringing him in, and the movies just got really goofy. But it's unfortunate because I think Pierce Brosnan's a great actor, and I'm not saying he missed his moment for James Bond, but I wish they would have gotten him a little bit earlier. But also now I should go back and watch those Timothy Dalton Bonds again, because I really like Timothy Dalton now and seeing him in different things, and I had no idea who he was at that time. So I'd like to go back and kind of watch those with the context for him that I have now, because I think the only thing I remember Timothy Dalton in from a kid was he was Prince Baron in Flesh Gorge. Was going to be James Bond? Like, really, this guy? But now I could see how it would make a lot more sense, though the movies didn't pan out quite. Yeah, and Matthias says, I can't believe Lord of the Rings came out in 2001 and still holds up today. Practical effects stand the test of time compared to CGI. They do when they're done well. And oftentimes they use a combination. And CGI will often be used in sneaky ways you don't think about or you don't necessarily notice, which is good. I think a lot of that subtle stuff is maybe even better used. But yeah, when he changed to the CGI orcs and things in The Hobbit, I think that was a big mistake. I mean, I don't know where Peter Jackson is now as a creator, but I feel like something happened between Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and I was so disappointed in those Hobbit movies because I really had high hopes. But then we went, it's going to be one movie, nope, two movies, nope, three movies. And it's like, where are you pulling all these movies from? And then we had hopes that, oh no, the third movie is going to be The Hunt for Gollum, and oh, that'll be cool. And no, not that, and it just not good, not good, and it bums me out because it would have been awesome to have the whole Hobbit through Lord of the Rings, and it felt like, gosh, the promise that was there of having this united helm, right? You got Peter Jackson's going to helm them all. He's all going to have this vision. You can kind of have continuity in a way that like the Potter films don't have. I mean, they have towards the end because they end up sticking with one director, but the first few films they don't because they kept swapping out directors. And I love the third movie, but tonally it doesn't really fit with the other ones. I mean, for me, for the better, because I really like it, but that was something that you had the idea that maybe the Peter Jackson movies would have this great continuity and all the whole thing, and then I don't know, he just weird with we're going to shoot with these different cameras with this funky frame rate, and that's going to do this, that, the other, and it's like, I don't know, what are you doing, PJ? What are you doing? Noric Sigma says CGI was a way to paper over that. Oh wait, hold on. I missed something. So Noric says, check out the behind the scenes production. The Hobbit was a complete mess due to studio stuff. CGI was a way to paper over that because it's way easier to fix and post with CGI. Okay. Still, it's a bummer. I mean, there usually are reasons for everything. Though sometimes those reasons are terrible. I remember I met a guy. So a person I know is high school or childhood friends with the guy who created the The Underworld movie, the original Underworld movie. I think he created. Hold on. Let me pull it up because why not? IMDb.com. Yes, Underworld. Let me see if I got the right thing. Yeah, so he's one of the creators. This guy here. So, a guy I know was childhood friends with him, and they still keep in touch. And at a New York Comic Con years ago now, he was there, and I got to talk to him for a few minutes. He's a really nice guy, and he mentioned because he was on. A look at his. Hold on. You're gonna have to go back. He was in Batman Forever. He was in Batman Forever. I think. Wait, or was he in? Hold on. Was he in Batman Forever, or was he in the other Batman too? Oh, he was in The Bodyguard. I didn't even know. So actually, no, sorry. So he was in Batman Forever, but he was talking. He was with. I think the story is. I want to say it's the Tim Burton, the second Batman film. Anyway, he was telling a story that I don't think it was Schumacher. I think it was Tim Burton. That and one of those movies, maybe it's the Schumacher one. If someone remembers, they can refresh my memory. Where the Batmobile runs up a wall, like goes up the wall and drives up the wall, and that scene was in there because I don't know, one of the producers' girlfriends thought it would be cool. That was the reason, and I think he said that he was at the opening or something in the movie, and the producer came over and apologized for it because he's like, "Sorry, man," because it's a terrible. When you see it in the movie, whichever one of those Batman movies in, it's awful. And the guy basically apologized. But the thing is, and this was kind of I don't know, the moral or the part of the story was that you're the director. You're forever going to get stuck with that. People are going to say, like, oh man, that horrible thing, that stupid thing that Tim Burton or Joel Schumacher, like they put in this movie, like this was their thing. And the reality was it was not their thing. They didn't want it at all. But somebody had an idiot idea who was in a position of power and made them do it. And so they had to live with the fact that it was a horrible thing. So you can end up in these movies. And of course, if someone doesn't talk about it or someone doesn't like hear or tells a story about it that tell it to me, that I tell to somebody else, it just it's lost, right? All it is at the end of the day, it gets stuck to you. You as the director, or you as an actor, if you get a note from a producer or somebody saying, hey, I really want you to give this guy a lisp. And this guy's the guy who's, really responsible for the movie. So you're like, all right, I'm going to give this guy a lisp. And so you play it with a lisp, and then the reviews tear you apart because, oh, I can't believe what the heck was the deal with him giving this guy a lisp? It was stupid, didn't make any sense. And, the producer may come to you behind the scenes and say, like, hey, man, sorry, that turns out that wasn't really good. But they get to walk away. I mean, maybe they don't make much money as they could have because the movie doesn't do as well. But, they get to kind of slide away. You're left holding the bag. So I totally get it in terms of studios and things and interference and all that stuff, But regardless of why, it's a shame that it didn't work. But I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'll have to watch some of the behind the scenes stuff and maybe it's just my misunderstanding, thinking that PJ maybe wasn't responsible for the stuff as much as I had thought. But I had felt like he had ideas for things that he was doing that just didn't work. But, maybe it's just because I don't know the inside scoop. All I can say on that score is he seems to be readying some more movies. And I just hope that he's got whatever he needs, authority or power, whatever it is to do it right, he does it right. All right. Norrick says, it's really interesting how the behind-the-scenes stuff very candidly shows the pure pain and struggle of the production of The Hobbit. Yeah, I know there are those sad images of Ian McKellen, Sir Ian McKellen, basically breaking down because he's alone doing green screen because everything's being done on green screen, so he's not with the other actors. He's just sitting alone in a space trying to act. This is horrible. I know they showed stuff back when because Lucas was a real pioneer of that on the prequels of they just filming on film it on green screen, and we'll just put CGI and not only does it often look terrible when a really easy practical effect could work really well, like when the fruit, like what Anakin and Padme, and they're on that table and he like force levitates a piece of fruit over to her and it's all CGI and it looks like crap. It looked like crap back then. It didn't look good then when the technology should have been all new and shiny. It definitely doesn't look good now. And think, well, you could have just done what Ghostbusters and all when they had stuff moving in the library at the beginning at the New York Public Library at the beginning. That's all just practical effects and stuff. You could make that stuff look good, and it's a real piece of fruit. And the actors can, they can act with the other actor and with the piece of fruit because it's actually there. But no, they chose to do it that way. But he was a big, proponent. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Oh. Tia says, I didn't bother with the Hobbit movies when I heard they were doing 3. I think Peter was over it by then, and he only wanted to do 1 movie, but the studio forced him to do 3. Yeah, it's probably possible. Oh, and then Norik says there's a series of videos on YouTube by Lindsay Ellis that goes over the kerfuffle. I'll have to check it out. I haven't seen that. Norik says their favorite example of unnecessary green screen is how the last few Spider-Man movies have real suits, and the actors sometimes wear it on set, but 90% of the time it's digitally altered anyway. Actually, I think that, so some of the digital alteration stuff, I think that's actually a good use because you get the physical suit, you get the physicality of it, and then you can add bits. So I don't mind that so much because I know there's stuff like the Iron Man suit, and they'd show what Robert Downey Jr. is actually wearing versus what they show. But I actually feel like that's a good compromise than having the guy just dressed in green with the little bubbles on them, and then you're going to turn the bubbles into armor, because when you can have the pieces on you, it affects your movement, your joints, things like that. So you can kind of, I feel like, get the best of both worlds a little bit. And that's really where I think, I mean, to bring it around to like working on stuff here, dungeons and prep and things like that. Like that's what I think in what I envision using AI or just tables and things like that, right? To not to take over the entire process, but to be able to help fill in some bits, use some tables to fill in some gaps, but you kind of have the main thing. You kind of have the main thing, and then you got the main stuff, and then, oh hey, I need a little extra bauble over here, a little extra detail. I want to add some damage or something, like I'm talking in terms of like costuming. And instead of doing that, it's like, okay, I'll digitally put the blast damage on there on this plate, but the plate's on the actor, so when the actor's moving, they feel the plate. And I kind of feel the same way when you're doing this stuff, like using of tables or AI or whatever. It's great, and I think use it for that. Use it for when you already have all your pieces, and maybe you just want a little bit extra. Then yeah, bring in a table, bring in something else, because you've sort of set the frame yourself, as opposed to trying to rely on that stuff to create everything from scratch. All right, so what have we got here? Have I lost the plot completely? No, I have not. And actually, I really enjoy this discussion. So keep bringing it on, because even if I'm not, I mean, I actually feel like we did get some stuff done tonight. Whole High Priest quarters are I say done, first pass done, but done. Ceremonial hall. I didn't put an A there. Maybe I will. Will it be in there? Maybe just some more supplies, incense and whatnot. Maybe goes in there. Arched ceilings. Smooth rock floor. Mason walls. Why are you giving me Mason Ed, Mason? I think Mason is a verb. Is it not a verb? Am I not? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Am I right? Where's my dictionary? Freemason. Yeah, no. Welp. I guess it isn't a verb. I thought it was. Mason, Mason. Mason, noun. Masonic. The anti-Mason. In 1928, in reference to a U.S. third political party formed late 1820s in opposition to elites, and for a decade or so thereafter, powerful in the Mid-Atlantic states, from anti-Mason. Ooh, I didn't know about the anti-Masons. I'm down with the anti-Masons. Masonite. No. Masonry. No. Mag. To need, fashion, or fit. So what is... what would we use then for? Not a Freemason. What would we... What words mean stone? No. I don't know if this is the right word. No, not is the word for stone. All right. General purpose AI with high built-in moderation. I don't know what this stuff means. Fine. I just want to ask it. Yes. What words describe constructed stone walls? Ashlar. See, this is kind of what if I'm going to use AI, this is what I'm using for. So I can take that, I can now post it somewhere else. Hewn or squared stone. Hewn. That was kind of the word I was looking through. Masonry of such a thin squared. Okay, ashlar. Yes. There we go. Now we're talking. Okay. Yeah, I'll just leave that for now. Not mason walls. Ashlar. Ashlar walls. Extend to create ashlar walls. I had not heard that term before. Methanks. What is Methanks? Mistral 8 times 7B for ashlar. Hewn. Rubble, veneer, dry stack, mortared. Mortared would have been good too. Coursed rubble. Hold on, I'm just gonna. I like using any type as just kind of a capture tool. So I'm gonna capture them. All right. Hewn or squared stone. What else do I need to know about this? Where's my picture? Here we go. Okay, the mouth, arched ceilings atop a smooth rock floor, ashlar walls extend. House ashlar walls enclose. Internal walls. Floor slopes down on both sides to the south towards the Unwell Spring, S6, and to the northeast. Northeast through a door to the descending gallery, S8. Sure to save your work, gentlemen, gentle ladies, gentle everyone. Gentle folk. Did I make my map? I did. Yeah, I did use some random stuff to start with, and then yeah, but this is my drawn, tweaked, blah blah blah. Yep. I have to say, I don't feel like I have great inspiration often for dungeon maps, so I will usually start with something randomized or partly randomized, and then I'll use it as a base, and then futz around with it to get what I like. Well, I appreciate it. It's just very simple. I just filled in the gaps with black because I just wanted to do something different than the hashed looks that Dyson Logos made famous. I mean, it looks good. I just wanted something a little bit different, but I appreciate it. It's rough. It's rough and tumble, but that's fine. I think it gets the point across basically for everything that's going on. I hope. And then yeah, I think we mentioned it, or I don't know, somebody mentioned it yesterday. It might have been Dungeon Master Masterclass yesterday, but I have to look for some colors, but I will try to color code the areas a bit to help separate. And then I'm going to try to, I say I'm going to try. There's no I just have to do it. Maybe put the area, the highlighted portion of the map on the page where the rooms are to kind of help with that as well. But I also tried to number the rooms in a way with the letter indicating the area and then the number, so that inner sanctum's S, so all the inner sanctum areas have S. Q for the high priest quarters, Q, so Q goes in there. The welcome area W, living quarters L, the cells C, the initiation hall I. So I tried to help out with those. Stalactites hang like fangs. Arched ceilings atop a smooth rock floor, stalactites hang like fangs. Ashlar walls enclose rooms and form internal walls. The floor slopes down on both sides to the south towards the Unwell Spring and to the northeast through a door to the descending gallery. I'm going to have to go through and figure out, because I know my descriptions are kind of all over the place. I need to figure out how I want to do it. And if you're ever sure, if you're never not sure if it's still if you want a stalagmite or stalactite, C for ceiling, G for ground. Stalactites hang from the ceiling. Stalagmites rise up from the ground. Just a little tip. A little tip for you. If you ever go spelunking and you need to say, watch out for that stalactite or stalagmite, you'll know. Or, you want to put one in your adventure. You need somewhere for the cloakers to hang out. You got it. Oh, what else? Okay, stores. I'm not sure we're going to put in stores yet. That's fine. Guards. Also fine. 1D3. Cultist stand guard here at all times. And alcove. Dave says stalactite. Tight is like Titan. It's tall. Stalagmite is a mite. Mites are small. I guess that's true, but I don't know that stalagmites have to be smaller than stalactites. Is there a rule? But stalagmites are smaller than stalactites? I find the C and the G thing just easier to remember because I don't have to worry about how tall or small they are. Because that really is just a matter of, I guess, time. Because you can have a small stalactite. I mean, look, ultimately, whatever helps you keep them straight helps. I just think if you just grab C for ceiling, G for ground, so you got. I mean, even you really just need to know C for ceiling because the other one's not small, like on the ground. That doesn't speak to me quite so much. But if it works for you, I don't know. I would confuse. That still would confuse me because I don't normally wouldn't necessarily think ground small, sky tall, Titan tall. But if I think of G, either just keeping in mind G for ground or C for ceiling, I'll got it. But hey, if whatever works for you, works for you. Okay. Closed. What did they call those? Besides, if I want to use a different word. Cut and dressed stone. Hewn. Yep. Hey, Mark. What time is it for me? It's 11:12. So yeah, I guess I am. I guess at this point, I would officially say yes. I'm up late. Though I sometimes am up late anyway. But I'm actually up late doing this, which is a lot better than what I probably normally doing being up late by myself, which is just watching something goofy on TV. Or I'm playing through the Legend of Zelda, Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity, which is that kind of Dynasty Warriors meets Legend of Zelda game. It's not a new game. It's actually rather old. I played it a while back and then I just put it down and just let it, and I just kind of didn't play it for quite a while. And for whatever reason, I picked it up again and I've been really enjoying the heck out of it. I really just like going around beating stuff up with Link and company, and your weapons don't get destroyed every other second. They actually hang around, which is great because I hated that in the actual Legend of Zelda games where you feel like you use your weapon 3 times and it explodes. I really dislike that mechanic. Or maybe I'd be watching a Picard episode. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I want to. I feel like I got a little bit more left in me. I'm not sure how long I've got. I've got the day off tomorrow, so I can and I'm by myself, so I can be here in the bedroom and I don't have to worry about someone else trying to go to sleep. You know, Dave says his favorite part of that game too. Yeah, it just bugs me. It's just annoying. I just want to run around and do stuff, and I really love in Breath of the Wild. Just go run around and do stuff, and I just felt like I'm running around, and not even to me. I really enjoy just running around, and just, oh, hey, I'm going to, but then it's just, you get into a groove and, you know, then it's like, no, I got to go and find more bits to make. Why is it giving me hewn? Is not hewn is a word, pal. It is a word. Yeah, ignore. Right? Yeah, hewn. Right? Yes, hewn. It is a word. I'm gonna. And then it just ruins my groove. Takes me out of it when I gotta go. Nope, I gotta stop. I gotta go find a piece and do this, that, and go make another weapon. It's like, why are you doing that to me? And this is kind of why I always feel like that. If I was ever into, oh, you know, having your weapons and stuff degrade in your role playing game, weapons and armor degrade. It's like, I don't know. I'd rather just assume that around the campfire, whatever, you're just doing whatever maintenance. There's just parts of the verisimilitude, if you want to call it that, and take a drink if you're playing the verisimilitude drinking game. I just don't need to worry about. You know, not that I think role playing games would tend to, or tabletop ones, because Legend of Zelda at this point is kind of is basically a role playing game also. Tend to do it as fast as in that Legend, as in say Breath of the Wild, but it just seems like that doesn't seem fun to me at all. Oh no, my weapon's breaking. Oh no, I got to carry 3 swords with me and 2. You know, it's like that. No, I don't. No, I don't. How about we just assume that 5 minutes before my guy takes his rest, or when he's on watch, or when he wakes in the morning, he does a little sharpening, and then because some other games will do it. I forget what systems, like, hey, carry around the armor repair kit. It's like, why? No, no armor repair kits. I don't want armor repair kits. I don't want weapon repair kits. I'm just going to assume you can maintain it, and I don't need to worry about it. That to me is not an interesting element at all. Ian says there's a couple unofficial Zelda TTRPGs. Oh, I don't doubt it. I'm sure. Oh, there was a good video I saw. I don't know if I mentioned this on one of the other streams, but it's a good video. It was, and this speaks kind of close, near and dear to my heart a little bit, because I always get frustrated with when I see people. You know, someone will put a map of their campaign, and you know there has to be that guy to come in and break it down. Oh, you know, your river's doing this. This is not, you know. And sometimes they'll do it in a more obnoxious way. And sometimes they'll even be nice about it, but they're pointing out these things. And look, it's fine, but I always want to remind people that for the most part, your players are not playing on that map. Now, maybe they are. Maybe in your game, they're playing on that map, but mostly they're not. They're at ground level, boots on the ground. They're not seeing these things. So unless they're looking at a mountain and your river is going on up it like a reverse flume at a water park, they're not going to remark on it. They're not going to care. Hey, we got to cross the river. Here are the river forks. We got to get across. Okay, great. Let's get across. They're not going to think like, a river splitting, bifurcating. What is this? No, it never occurs to anybody. It doesn't. I've yet to see it happen. I refuse to believe it does happen. I don't think it happens. But anyway, this video was great because they went into Zelda and they went with the idea of trying to chart all the rivers. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can find a map. There's this thing about the rivers in Hyrule. Oh, this is pretty good. Let's see if there's a good one. Let me see if I can get a high. No. Well, wallpaper. Give me the big ones. There we go. Maybe this is good. Okay. Let's see if this will work. See, look at these. Dave, you've taken geology classes? I mean, look, I'm not saying that you shouldn't take geology classes. Not at all. But what I'm saying is, oh, they're doing this garbage now. Actually, hold on. Yeah, whoops. No, I don't need to. Let's just. Oh, you're killing me, Reddit. You're gonna make me do this. There we go. All right. Look at these rivers. Hold on a minute. They make no sense at all. And the fact is that the guy went through and he's like, look, like, oh, you might think these connect to the sea. And it's like, no, they don't. Like, and like trying to, and he made this whole thing about trying to chart all these rivers and see where they go. And they make no sense. They make no sense at all. But I say all this to say that nobody cares. Let me repeat this. Nobody cares. All the millions of people who've played all the different Hyrule games. I mean, if we just look at the last few, the ones that really embrace kind of open world Hyrule, so, or where they even show these big kind of maps, you know, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, that Hyrule Warriors I1 shows a big map. The rivers are crazy. And then when he went around in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and was finding these sources, there's just like a hole or a cave where the rivers just come out of. But nobody cares. It's just kind of funny that obviously the people making the game didn't care, but you can get totally absorbed in these games. You can get lost in the fantasy of it. And never once, I don't think that anybody argue, I got pulled out of the game because these rivers are bifurcating or whatever the heck they're doing. Nobody cares. And I'm not saying just go Looney Tunes with your river, but this is probably the wildest rivers you're ever going to see. And someone, if you were to, and here's what I guarantee you, if you were to take this map and maybe do a couple of flips and reversals and take off the things and just kind of maybe just warp it a little bit and then post it on one of those on a subreddit or forum or somewhere, you would get people just hacking it apart because of the rivers. And you know what? You can turn around and say, guess what, man? How many copies of different Legend of Zelda games have sold? How many people play those games, love them, and adore them? How many of them cared one whit about crazy rivers? The answer is nobody. You know, just it takes somebody with kind of a niche, interest in it to break it down and even just to reveal the fact that it's just kind of crazy. And I've been playing Age of Calamity. I've been looking at this map because in Age of Calamity, you look at a map like this and then you get these little points of interest that pop in and then you pick one and it zooms in there. And it never even occurred to me to like look at the crazy rivers. It's like you don't until maybe someone points it out to you. Then you start going like, oh my God, look at it. So I thought it was a really good video. It's just kind of fun and just reminded me like, don't let some guy on a cartography board or something else. Don't let Dave with his geography class come in there or geology or geography or whichever one and tell you what to do with your rivers. Do it with your rivers. Do with all your land masses, whatever the heck you like. Look at Tolkien's map. Look at where Sauron lives. Dave says there's one river in North America that drains into the Pacific Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico. It has a precarious split. They do happen, but they are very rare. Yeah. And on Earth, they're rare. But, we're imagining places that are not Earth. So, I just think that people take that kind of like it's got to be more realism way too far. And they kind of shame people and do it. And the fact is, like, let your map be your map. And if that's what you felt like, just go with it. I'm just going to look up that Dragon Warrior map because I'm just curious. Oh, I keep opening up the wrong window. Why do I keep doing that? Let me see. Dragon Quest. No, not any, all sizes. Oh, that one's super. That's got to be like an original map. Is there anything? Has anyone made a nicer map? They did. Is it crazy? Dave says everyone agrees the crazy world of One Piece is one of the best fantasy worlds ever written. I can't get into One Piece. I need to try it again. I suppose I'll go back to the original one. I suppose I should. I tried the. Access denied. They don't allow hot linking. Well, What the hell? I don't allow that. Hold on, let's try this again. Dragon Quest 1 map. Well, that's part of it. That doesn't seem too crazy, at least that little bit. Oh, that's it again. That's the same one. I'm falling into the same. Is this going to go crazy on my computer again? No. Okay, it seems to be all right. What the? No, I do not want content block. Thank you. Oh, you're killing me, Smales. You're killing me. Oh, yeah, they don't allow hot linking. Right. Can I do that? Okay. Well, I mean, it's so low res, it's hard to say what's going on, but that doesn't seem too crazy to me. I mean, I guess maybe the fact that you've all, I mean, look, a part of it's like you can tell that they're caught in this square. They got to make it a square. They want a lot of land. Oh, you just link to it? All right. To the Discord. Oh, it opened it in that browser. It opened it in this browser. Whoops. All right. That's a better one. Yeah, yours is a bit better. Thanks, Dave, for that. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit, a lot of land. A lot of land, man. Not a lot of open ocean. You can really talk about around the world. You really can get all the way around pretty much. You only have to cross water. Swamp Cave. And look, I'm guessing you could cross through Swamp Cave. I wonder what the Ultima maps. I wonder what the Ultima map looks like. Oh, there's a good one. Oh man, I had this on a cloth map. Beautifulous. Actually, I think theirs is probably pretty sensible. Mountains, rivers going down there, rivers going down there, presume rivers coming in. Theirs is probably pretty sensible. Man, whoops. Oh, Ultima. I missed these games. I remember I had a save where I went through a moon gate accidentally and ended up somewhere way higher than my pay grade. And I think accidentally saved over there. So my poor guy running for his life because it was completely, these Ultima games were just amazing, completely open world. Oh, I never got close to finishing this game. I wonder if there's any. I would love to get an Ultima 4. Well, this is Ultima 6, though. The map's probably pretty similar. Beautiful stuff. I'll have to try to look for a cloth map. I'm sure on eBay they're probably expensive, so I'll get out. A little segue on maps, but why not? Why not indeed? Okay. I think, let's see here. Guards, our guard, stand guard, not a guard shack. Guards, stand in. Maybe I'll do this inner circle guards. Inner circle guards stand in an open outcome enclosed by 2 hewn stone walls. 1d3 plus 1 guards at all times. Descending gallery. Smooth rock floor, slick with moisture. Outer curved wall. What would be the carved into leaves of bufo? And Axurus leading a host of amphibian human hybrids in procession. Did I spell bas reliefs wrong? No, I did not. Well, I don't think I did, but I will check. But if you are wrong, Affinity, what will you do for me? Oops, not Bast. Bas. Yeah, I got you. I'm right, you're wrong again. Yet again. That is why evil will always win, because good is dumb. Okay, it's sacrificial passage. That's 9. Yep, S10. Another guard here. Guard room. 1d3. Inner circle guards. Post here during, what did we call that? What did we call the... Well, that's not the right one. Yeah, I did mean over here. Oh, not the living areas. Ceremonial prisoner sanctification. I got to give this a new name, but I'll figure it out later. Otherwise, empty. Down to Froggy Town. You got that right, Brian. Yep. Who's down with the Froggy Clown? Okay, S9. Connects the, hold on, what's I3 again? The tapestry room. I3 with the pool of Bufo and Osiris via the a concealed sliding panel. I think I'll make this a note, right? during are led from the tapestry room to the pool for ritual sacrifice. Okay, so we got that. Man, we're rocking and rolling, rolling and rocking. Pool of possibly dark water tainted with the essence of Cyrus. I think that was my original. I remember talking about the scum from the pool, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think my original idea was that it was this pool, which is kind of connected. This is where they get the waters from. What's a good other word for waters? I mean, nice to get a good word for waters. Thesaurus. Waters. Pisces, ocean. No. Which is water. As into wet. No, I want the adjective. Not sorry. I want the noun. No. None of those. None of those. Water. Waiter. Water. Water polo. Oh, wait a minute. The first living force. Oh, yes. Oh, man. What were for living force? What about essence? I think that's from a French word, I imagine. Essentia. Latin essentia. Yeah. All right, let's go back. Where's our man? Not our man. Where are we? Where is it? No, where are you? Here we go. Chat with Mixtral. All right, Mixtral. Let's see what you got. Wait, what did I want to? Oh yeah, what old English words mean? What did I want to say it was? I'm forgetting. I'm getting too. No, not caterwaul. Where was I looking? Living force. Essential essence. That was I? Water. Yeah, essence. Essence, maybe? All right. A font. The font seems too nice. A font. Font, I feel like, because I want something I can kind of dirty up. I need something I can be dirty. It is definitely a source. A pile of liquid. Yeah. Fountain, spring, well. I need something that can be grungy and evil. All right, I'm going to close these windows because I'm getting confused. Here are some examples. Let's see. In Old English, the word wesson, pronounced wayson, means to be or existence. Is the Old English equivalent to be? All right. The word essence comes from the Old French word. I got that part. Being. The Old English word for essence would have been escung, ascuz, wesson. All right. So well, let's see. Basin. Yeah, basin would be the container. Frog was frosk. Effluvium. Oh, that's not a bad word. Effluvium's a good word. Well, what do we get from effluvium? Debris? It isn't quite debris, though. Tadage? Frog was frosk. The Old English word for frog was frosk. So we had Wesson, Wayson. What can we do with Wayson? When we have the unwell spring, I guess I'll just go with that. Dave says the ichor creeps up from the ground here. It moves like fingers through the cracks. It bubbles up with a rhythm not dissimilar to that of a heartbeat. That's really creepy. I like it. I like it, Dave. Discharge. Fluvium, a discharge? Well, let's see. Let's go to the dictionary. An invisible emanation, a byproduct, especially in the form of waste. An offensive exhalation or smell. I'll work it in there. I'll work it in there. Pool. All right. A pool of impossibly dark effluvium. I'll use effluvium. It isn't invisible, though. It is very visible. It is extraordinarily visible. 10 bonus points for describing it like a pustule. Let's see. A pool. Hold on, let's see. Fills a localized swelling and inflammation. A basin like a lanced boil filled by a pool tainted waters of a basin like the lanced boil, like a lanced boil. There you go. There's your pustule imagery. Well, foul is the idea, so I'm glad that came across. It is supposed to be foul. A basin like a lanced boil filled by I don't think I need pool. Filled by filled by impossibly dark effluvium. Effluvia? What's the plural of effluvium? Effluvia? Yeah, effluvia. Yep, thanks, Ian. Got it. Effluvia. A basin like a lamp boil filled by impossibly dark effluvia, otherworldly waters tainted with the essence of Bufo and Osiris. Yes. Oh, yeah, it's still. What did we get from here? Because I still need something. Wayson. Wayson and Frog was Frosk. I like Way because it can become Way. What about? I don't know if I should. I don't know if it helps to put this as quotes. I'm gonna do it anyway. Swamp. This is what I love. The word swamp comes from the Old English word swamp. Okay, thank you. Swamp as. Swim, meaning to sink. Swim. Oh, sink might be good. Swamp, which means moss, fungus. Swamp. See, the word swamp didn't really change too much. And I think I bet you I'm going to put the etymology of sink, and I'm going to get sinking. I can feel it. You get swamp ass. Exactly. Yep. I knew it was sinking. I called it. I called it. So you call it the sink way. What would we like the inner circle? Call this liquid Bufo's blood. And it has many. Is it is it magical or is it just? I guess it does. It has several. What? Let's see. Ingesting it in different doses. Ingesting it in different doses produces various effects that the cultists use in their operations. The Bog of Eternal Stench? Heck yeah, a little labyrinth action. I'm down for a little labyrinth or a lot of labyrinth. Why hasn't anybody made a labyrinth TTRPG? I don't know what it would be. Sometimes I really think that people want to. I mean, look, I get it. Everyone wants to make a system. I want to make a system. Everybody wants to make a system, but I often think that when did this come up? I was thinking about this actually earlier today when I was bumping around and I ran across some Adventure Time. I like Adventure Time, and I think people have made Adventure Time RPG, or people I know people have talked about it, like, oh, make an Adventure Time RPG. But a lot of times I think about these different settings, if you will, and want to make a whole system around it. And I don't know if you necessarily need to. A lot of the tone and stuff doesn't necessarily have to come from the mechanics. Obviously, if there's yeah, I don't know. It's funny for Adventure Time. Certain people have a lot of magic, like the Ice King, but a lot of the characters don't have any particular magic. I mean, they kind of have the magic of their own beings, I guess. Hold on a second. And I often think of maybe it's not so much you need a whole new system to run it. It's just you need that setting, you need to have that tone, and you just need to maybe make a few adaptations to a system to make. And that's one thing I love about the white box, OD&D, or BX, is that it's such a, the system's not that complicated. You have a really nice chassis, and it's very easy to add or detach parts. Okay, you don't like spell casting, you want it to work differently, fine. It's pretty easy to unbolt that, bolt something else on, and then keep everything else the way you want. Or, I don't like these things, or I don't like this, I don't like that. Great, bolt it on. As opposed to something like I was going to say 5th edition, but really just any kind of more crunchier system, because you end up with all those subsystems and things that do a lot of intersecting. And then if you start to pull things out, you're tearing those connections in ways that are pretty hard to foresee when you're doing it, just because it's just hard to keep track of all the different ways things combine together. Dave says, not all settings need a system, but all systems need a setting. Well, that's true. I'm sure there is an actual Adventure Time TTRPG. I was just thinking about it. I mean, let's see. I'm almost ready to cut out for the night, but let's see. What have we got? Well, it was kickstarted. Oh, I guess, geez. When did this? Was it just? So yeah, so there you go. There is one. Well, there we go. It's probably, I imagine, is that the first one? Because that one seems like it's actually pretty new. I would have thought there'd been one years ago, but maybe there wasn't. Basin like a lanced boil filled by impossibly dark effluvia, otherworldly waters tainted with the essence of Bufo and Xiris. Inner Circle call this liquid Bufo's blood. Ingesting it in different doses produces various effects that the cultists use. Carry out their activities. Brian says, looking for a system to simulate the serialized Western shows where people get slugged out of windows and the doc is always digging bullets out of people who spring right back to action. I don't know that you need a system for that, right? Because Brian, think of what you're doing. People being knocked out of a window just means that they're having fights near a window, and you're going to have a knockback effect, which you could easily have on a knockout. So if you keep hit points low and you're allowing people to kind of use fisticuffs, imagine something where all you have are 1d6 hit points at all times. Something like that. Wherever you're doing hit points very tamped down. And you're allowing basically hand-to-hand to do kind of mortal damage, or at least high damage, not like 1 point. No, you're doing well. Or maybe you could even have it be 1 point plus strength, because then it gives you a chance to have a couple of hits before you get pounded out. Then you can fall out, and then falling out the window is just you're in a spot and you get knocked out, which could just be you go to 0 hit points, and that puts you out the window. Brian says, you don't want to do combat, though. Like a gunfight is over in a blink, and the fisticuffs are really just for show. Gunfights are over in a blink. I think it depends, Brian. So, I mean, look, I don't want to say not to do your idea, but I think that there are many different types of fighting that happens in the shows, right? There's kind of the brawls, which are usually it's kind of one shot per guy. Whoever connects first, or the hero gets that punch in, the guy's out of it, which is really just saying that you're fighting mooks with 1 hit point, and so one connection knocks them out. Sometimes you have, actual like dual gunfights are over in a second, but then you also have those kind of messy fights where people are behind barrels and they're shooting pew pew. Those tend to be a bit longer. So I think there are kind of multiple ways to frame it, but all that really is still is just people just have a couple of hit points. I mean, if you wanted to do it in a D&D kind of system, people just have a couple of hit points. So yeah, any shot's going to end it because they get hit and they fall over. Because a gun, you can just have a gun do 6 hit points, or just have it do, you can have a bullet do at least however much damage. Everyone would run damage for bullets, and that's just going to be more than their hit points. So I think you could go to fair ways. I mean, obviously there's stuff like the TSR game. I forget the name of it now. Their Wild West TSR game. But I don't think you'd really have to do that much, to be honest, to run it. Now, maybe you want to, you want to just do more, but I really feel like you could take something. You could just sub out fisticuffs and guns for your other weapons. You have fisticuffs, you have knives, and you have guns. Like I said, Brian, I think it really just comes down to just giving people just a couple of boot hill. Yeah, boot hill. Yep, Ian. Yep, boot hill. I think it all comes down to is if everybody has 1 or 2 hit points, except for maybe your heroes, your mooks have 1 hit point, then I think that takes care of a lot of your issues, because all it is they just have to connect once. And then if everyone's and imagine it this way, you're in the Wild West, people aren't running around in heavy armor. So everyone's armor class is going to be pretty high. You're going to have 8, 9 armor class, or armor class is almost irrelevant. It's going to be cover and maybe dodging if you have a chance to run and dodge. So you're going to, just by taking away armor class, because no one's going to have an armor. So everyone's armor class 9 or 10, whatever. And then everyone's going to go down in 1 hit, basically. And that goes a long way in towards giving you the kind of effect that you want. And maybe you would say that fists do 1 plus strength and bullets do 4. And then you can go from there. Mooks have 1 hit point. So mooks are going to go down in 1 hit of any kind. Bad guys are going to go down, let's say, have 3 hit points. So they're going to take a couple hits, but they're still going to go down in a bullet, whatever, right? So you can just keep the scales really low, and then you're going to get that kind of effect. And then the part of it, whether people are just kind of knocked out and the doc can just come around and revive them, or whether they're dead or whatever, that just comes down to you. What happens when you get to 0 hit points kind of thing. And I'm not to say you shouldn't design a different system, but I'm saying, I mean, it kind of goes to my example. If you can take a very slimmed down, trim chassis, you just make a couple of adjustments, and really it's not even adjusting it. No one's got chainmail or plate mail in the Wild West. The man with no name putting on a metal vest, a metal plate underneath his poncho notwithstanding. So everyone's got high armor class, which is going to make it easier to hit people. And then you just reduce everybody's, either you pump up the damage everybody does, or you just reduce everybody's hit points. It might be easier just to reduce people's hit points. And if you want to make it even less crunchy, you just have the scale. Minions, kind of like mooks, ruffians, whatever, 1 hit point. Other guys, 3 or 4 hit points. Whatever, main bad guys, 4 hit points, something like that. And then you've gone a long way. Then it's just swapping out your weapons for, okay, we don't have a whole bunch of swords and pole arms. Now we have, bows and arrows. If you want to bring in kind of Native Americans, people might that way. You've got your knives. Everyone's got their Bowie knife or whatever. And then you've got your fists, and you've got pistols and rifles. And rifles, you could just say that pistols and rifles work the same way, but pistols have short range, rifles have long range. And I feel like you could probably just play with that. I feel like you could just jump in there and like, oh yeah, we're good, let's go. And then other things you could create as you need. Ryan says, true, a game with a no AC is a huge change. Got to take out your enemy before they get you or you're toast. Yep. And yeah, you got to run and hide behind the barrels. Like that finding cover becomes super important. Can you get behind a barrel? Can you get in the cover of a doorway or a window, smash out the window and shoot out? Like, you need all that cover because, yeah, you got no armor class. And yes, please check out Dave's Project Sunflower. Even if it's you're not necessarily looking for it, just check it out. It's a really good system. You can also watch my read through. But yeah, Project Sunflower does have some crunch. It's a bit crunchier than what I'm talking about here. But yeah. Hey Dave, do you have any actual plays of Project Sunflower? Have you done any? Have you hosted any anything that's out there of playthrough of Project Sunflower? Okay, the inner circle, call this liquid Bufo's blood, ingesting it. I don't need to make a period. Ingesting it in different doses produces various effects that the cultists use to carry out their activities. I'll get into more. Oops. Stop that. Well, Dave, I'm happy to I'm happy to host it on the channel if that helps with not distribution. I don't know, exposure. Not that it's a ton of exposure, but I'm sure between the two of us, we had at least a couple other people to volunteer to be on camera. If you're up for it, I'd like to do more actual plays here and there, different things. It's something I'd like to do. And I think letting people see some different systems aren't, I mean, I was very much surprised how many people really enjoyed that little hour I did with Daniel running through OSE, even though I made several several goofs in my own whatever. But it's, I think I always like with video games, I like the actual plays, or I like what was the name of them? When Giant Bomb was a thing. Are they still a thing? I don't remember. Back in the day when Giant Bomb was kind of their own thing. I really enjoyed the kind of quick plays or their playthrough. They kind of get together and just run through the game, and one person would have seen the game before and played it, and the other person would be kind of fresh to it, but they'd run through some more of the game, and you just get to see the gameplay, and they talk about it. I thought those were really good for showing a game, kind of warts and all. Sort of, this is what it's really like to play it, not something where it's super polished. The experience, I mean, like, oh, whatever, like you might see highlight reel and it's like, oh, that's great. But then the actual game is kind of janky. It's like, if it's janky, they're going to kind of show it like, okay, let's go and play with their inventory. Like, yeah, it's a little bit janky doing that. Or, oh, this is a little bit annoying, whatever. I like that. And I think for tabletop role-playing games, I think a kind of let's play, even if it's just an hour or 2 hours, doesn't have to be a full, whatever, a quickie kind of one shot or even part of a one shot, just to get some people what the system's like, because it's always hard to I have this struggle all the time to kind of try to look at the game as it's read a game and try to envision what it's like to run or play the game, what the experience is like, and you can't really do it. I can look at a game and I can try to have an idea of, okay, I think these rules will interact in a way that I like, or these rules will interact in a way that I'm not sure I will like, or this thing I'm not sure I just, or I like that. I can't say for certain. Nobody can. I can only just talk about like, hey man, it sounds good. It sounds something up my alley or whatever. Or, ooh, I've seen this before and I didn't like it over there, so maybe I won't like it here. You can kind of make some guesses, but you don't really know. And I think a let's play, especially if it's kind of an honest one. When I mean honest, I just mean that you're not, I don't want to say fakery, but you're not trying to overly polish it to the point where it seems more like again, like with a demo kind of reel where you're not showing it's more a performance of play than play. If you can just play, doesn't mean that you have to people to come in and the players don't know anything. It's got to be from scratch, whatever. Like, of course not. You can make it do that stuff, but I just mean just make it kind of a real play and not like we're going to pretend we're playing, but the reality is it's all scripted or something like that. It says they don't ever want to hide how any part of the game looks and plays. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, I think I'm going to call tonight. What time is it? Whoa, it's midnight. We made it to Monday. Well, happy Monday, everybody. I think we did some good work. And I always like the conversation. Got some good things done. Got the name of that substance, Bufo's blood. Like the alliteration. I mean, with a couple of exceptions, we got the rough kind of first draft of all the rooms pretty much done. I mean, I got a couple things, storeroom. I'm not concerned about the ceremony hall. I got to come up with something for that. I think there's a couple other things. The pool, I got to write that up. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. Dave says the play people see should be accurate to what players are going to experience for certain. Yep, I agree. Brian says this place is not somewhere I want to end up, not even for a frog dog. No, you don't want to be here unless you have. Yeah, it'll be if you have to. It'll be interesting, I guess. I'll have to write up. So I have some things I got to write up. Maybe I'll put it. Okay, I got to put some write up. So there's some notes I want to give writing up, which is notes on the cult out in the world. Because the one thing I think this module is going to be, I don't know, difficult. Oh yeah, you're updating something difficult. But I think one advantage is this will be very easy to plug and play into something pre-existing, because, and this is what I want to kind of put some notes in here, but like, hey, what are the cult doing out in the world? Because you can really seed this in to your campaign world, really anywhere there's kind of a town and there's somewhere nearby that's got this place. Not even have to be that nearby, because it's kind of Thulsa Doom like. If you think about in Conan, where Thulsa Doom's converting people and then they're making their way over to the temple, it's kind of similar, where the cult's going out there and they're kind of hiding in plain sight, presenting this face of, like, give us your coal, you're poor and tired kind of deal. So you can put them in any town settlement, because they're going to be showing up trying to get people to come to the temple, and they're preying on the people who the town, village, city, whatever is going to be wanting to get rid of. So they're, it's kind of like that same theme, like when you see people are like preying on the, I mean, it unfortunately it happens in real life too. So there's been a big, I guess, I don't know, there's an unsolved mystery. There's been a bunch about it on these murders and things that people think are happening, basically, where there's like potentially maybe multiple mass murderers who work by their like truck drivers, or they use those truck driving areas like truck stops, because they're on multiple interstate ways, and they prey on essentially sex workers and like homeless, like particularly women. And the reason why they're able to operate like that is because these are people who, one, they're kind of off the grid, and they're sort of they're isolated and separated by their families. Maybe they're not on speaking terms with their families for whatever reason, or they don't have families and they're sort of alone and isolated. They have no voice. And then afterwards, for those same reasons, people aren't looking for them. And then, oftentimes, unfortunately, law enforcement isn't really interested in them. What happened to this, this girl? Like, they don't care. It's just not, there's, so this is kind of on a similar theme, where the cult is deliberately seeking out people whom, when they go to these places, that the powers that be are not overly concerned by. Now, sometimes they'll get other people in their net, and that's kind of going to be one of the plot hooks, if you will, that there's some VIPs, somebody who ended up is in the system somewhere, and they realize they sent them, or they went, or whatever, and now they want them back. And that's the whole, the thing is that if anyone takes a close look, they might notice that people are going in and those people aren't showing up anywhere else. Of course, we don't have modern technology or anything, so there's always like, oh yes, they went away and they went somewhere else, and you kind of like, oh, okay. But someone's going to maybe get a little bit of, hey, I want to know what's going on. I think my kid's still in there, whatever. Can you get him out? That's definitely one kind of angle. Dave says they're frequently the people that other people don't want to see. Right. They're invisible and people don't want to see them. Yeah, they're literally invisible just because you just want to look away, or you don't want to look. And that's kind of what the cult is doing. So they're kind of operating in plain sight. But that means that in any game you might be running, you can start to seed this in to any particular location where your party is, or where they're going to be, where you have some of these kind of cult sort of heralds, messengers that are out there doing the dealy, and getting to the temple is not secret. the front door is going to be very obvious because they're literally going to say, "Oh, get to this place, follow this path." Kind of like I said, I think of Thulsa Doom and his setup towards the end of the Conan movies, where you see all the camps and stuff, and everything's kind of leading up. Similar deal. So I think very easy to kind of seed it wherever at your game, and you just got to plunk this in like a hill or a mountain or somewhere where there can be they got some underground. Really, it could just be some kind of hill. I suppose it could even be just a regular temple complex. So I have everything kind of set up. There's no windows and things, so somewhere where they could dig into something and do this. Reminds me of this quote. Do you have some time to talk about your Lord and Savior, Bufo Anaxarus? Yes, so they don't call him that. So if you're in the outer, not the outer circle. So remember, there's kind of 3 levels. There's the outsider level, and there's then the outer circle, and then there's sort of the thing. So I think, what did I call him here? I don't remember what they call, but there's a they have a cover. So what they show to the world is not Bufo. Only the outer. Only the cultists see that. There's kind of another. I forget the name I gave it, or maybe I have to come up with a new name. But it's basically some sort of shoot. Oh, Alba, Goddess of Charity. That's their cover. Alba, Goddess of Charity. So yeah, so you don't get the toad thing unless you're a cult member. You get the cover story. So they're sort of hiding in plain sight, like that. I'm kind of happy with this formatting, though I might need to shift it. Dave, I'm going to bounce in a second too. Yep. Good night. I think that's a good thing. I'm going to use Dave's bouncing as an excuse because, yeah, it's late for all of us, at least for me here as well. Though I kind of feel like I want to watch a little TV before I go to bed. Just kind of let things, what's the word? Percolate, trickle down in my brain before I go to bed. So yeah, so thanks everybody for hanging out. I may do another one of these tomorrow, but I probably will do a normal read since I'll be back on my back on the week, and then I'll post about it. But I'm not sure what my status will be from Tuesday onwards because I'll be traveling in the morning, and then I'll be with the fam, and not away from the home setup. So we'll see. I'll have to kind of play it by ear, I suppose. But thanks everybody for hanging out and helping out and just chatting and keeping me somewhat productive. Have a great rest of your day, night, whenever you end up watching or listening to this. Good night. Game on. I will talk to you later. Bye now.